That's cool. Oh, why? Is the controller bigger than the console? Generic controlman that goes moo here, back with another Caddicarus reaction. Today we're doing the useless world of PS1 accessories, which I believe is going to be the longest video I've ever done from him so far. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. Alright. Oh, that's a nice little...
Where are you?
Nice little intro change.
No, I didn't say go to New Zealand, I said go and get me New Zealand.
Oh. Also, I heard his, wife? Girlfriend, I think.
Hello,
about
I'm
what
Caddicarus,
was going on with her.
not. You want to know something that everybody loves? Video game accessories. You know, when you take something like a controller that works, and then you make it stop working. Tony Hawk is great fun, but you know what I hate? Doing this. We need to make that more fun. Real-life skateboard, not only even more fun than that, but also works much better.
And you got to sit down.
Don't need to worry about hitting that one button ever again. I didn't even do that! Now, I'm not just an old, forgotten hag. I do think that accessories and video games have their place. And PlayStation in particular have been ahead of the curve with tons of useful ones, or ones that just provide good, clean fan. That's a dirty fan. Like the Guitar Hero controller, the PS3 memory card adapter, the PS2 DVD remote, the PlayStation VR, and even the PS3 6-axis motion controller, which went down extremely well in the incel market. Thanks, David Cage! But for every motion-activated bra removal tutorial, there's a TV signal aerial for the PSP, or a PS Vita-only memory card.
Why? Why is it proprietary?
PS3 book, or a Dragon Quest slime controller. What? This is comfortable. He's looking at it. I'm okay with this. Or even PlayStation Move boxing gloves. Yes, these are real. It's just a regular boxing glove with an elastic strap for the controller. It does absolutely nothing. You still have to hold the controller. What else am I supposed to do with it?
You don't have to hold it,
and then immediately celebrate. And this is just me talking about nowadays. Did you know that Sony were the kings of useless plastic shit? Even back in the day when they were making prototype controllers and then leaving them at the bus station for people to take and then sell for £9,000.
What?
Even though you got the occasional useful or cool
what is the story behind that?
Vibrating double analog stick DualShock controller, or interchangeable memory cards, or unofficial cheat discs to break your games in half, the PS1 had even more absolute garbage tier accessories than people realize. So welcome one and all to my... So welcome one and all to my journey.
English is hard.
Looking through as many PS1 accessories that I could find
on eBay. This is a long video. Also shout out to the patrons.
Because holy shit, second mortgage. But I don't want to start off negatively. I'm someone who likes to look for the good in everything.
Yeah?
So
did you find any good in? Okay.
Let's take a look at the nice clean pants, such as with this thing.
Shout out to the patrons. I couldn't do this without them.
Aha! Good day,
multi-tap. The boomerang.
Core blimey. The PS1 multi-tap, or if you'd prefer, the multi-branchment, was one of the first accessories released for the PS1. It was a nifty little device to allow you to play 4-player local multiplayer. And that's it. But I always thought this thing looked pretty cool. It could even help you out with your math. But whatever you do, do not directly touch the metal part, or I'll have to get a restraining order. Other than that, though, there's not much to say.
You mean like the
it's
connector?
4 controller slots that plugs into 1 controller slot.
It's kind of
cool. If
cool.
you drop it on the floor, it'll come back to you. And after the Nintendo 64 came out with 4 controller ports already installed, Sony executives then realized they shat it all up and went, Oh, and while we're on the topic of Sony messing things up, let's talk about this thing. Now, I know what you're going to say, but Caddy, that isn't an accessory. It's a rope. Well, no, this is an optional thing that you used to be able to buy for your PlayStation, and it was for this exact purpose. If you happen to have 2 giant CRT TVs, which are just like regular TVs nowadays, but with diabetes, 2 PS1 2 copies of a certain game, and then put all of them together in the same room,
you could multiplayer?
You could play 2-player multiplayer. Yes, I'm not joking. Only about 5 PS1 games in total were compatible with 4-player with this thing, so mostly you were doing this for the sake of 2-player. Probably because they knew that you wouldn't be able to fit 4 people in a room where you set it all up. When the PS1 first launched in 1995, many of its multiplayer games were not compatible with 2 controllers out of the box, even though there's 2 slots for 2 controllers on it out of the box. So that meant if you were a kid in the mid-90s, you needed to go through all of this effort just to play Wipeout 2097 with little Johnny Toe Rag. Sony justified this baffling thing by arguing it was like an arcade experience at home, but you weren't in an arcade, you were in Mummy's study.
Oh no,
What else is in there? This thing
What
is an
is a
umbilical
study?
cord of hate. It's useless. I never knew anybody that owned one. And if you're upset with me saying
And how
this
much
about
was
your
it?
beloved rubbery intestine, please ring up and send in all of your complaints to 0800 303 30080.
Wait a minute.
300
Is it boobs?
3
Is he saying boobs?
0838
Or is he...
8
No.
8
The
3
editing.
0
It's going off the screen.
3
Okay.
8. What's that smell?
The spawns. Oh no.
Dad! It's a rat! It's a rat! Kill it! Kill it!
Oh,
This
it's
is
a
the
rat.
PS1 mouse, a Walmart special for $14.96 including tax.
That's-
Honestly, I think that's a
I was born in
bargain. It even comes with a
$7.97.
free piece
That
of
was
gum from
$5.97.
1995. Yes, my friends, if you lived in the 90s and were too cheap for a then this was the best compromise you could deal with to get a PC experience on your TV. Check it out, you even got a really sweet mouse mat.
Okay.
Isn't it supposed to be white? Now, I actually think this
I mean,
is one of the
I have a
coolest
desk
additions
mat
to the
from
PS1. At this point, I'd
so.
usually make some comment about P, but this thing works perfectly for the few point-and-click games available on the PS1, and it gives you smoother mouse
God, Kirby
movement
is
than Will
blowing up my phone.
Smooth. Yes, very smooth. It even allows you to aim and shoot in a few first-person shooters. Well, that's very good. The best thing about it, though, undoubtedly, is that it can be used to play
that's another
irritating
text.
stick. This is what made the PS1 mouse fly off the
It's
shelves.
like one of those
The
like
chance to
things
turn
where you can't
irritating
touch
stick
the
into
sides of the
reasonable
metal.
stick.
You know, you got to get it to the end.
Come on.
But if it touches, it like goes off. You lose. That's actually what this is. Yeah.
No.
What is? Don't.
Here's another thing
Why?
you could choke on.
It's
The
from, like,
Pocket
the
Station,
90s.
the first ever portable Sony console. Yeah, you thought
That
the
is?
PSP was the first?
No, I didn't think that.
You're thick, and here it is.
I
Isn't
wouldn't
it
assume
precious?
that.
No, it isn't a gravestone for moths. It's a Japanese-only, ultra-tiny game console that triples
That's
as a
5 buttons.
PS1 save game manager and an alarm clock. The
Because?
most important things you need in your pocket. You can use it as a standard memory card and then look through the save data later on with tiny bit-crushed animated save game icons. Yeah, you wink
What?
at me,
Just
Coco.
icons?
Don't worry. I know, I'm hot. You can change the volume. Yes, that's a separate
Cool.
feature,
It has
but
a
the
speaker
best
for
thing
some
is when
reason.
it works with certain PS1 games for extra features and to download mini-games directly onto it to play
That's
portably.
kinda cool.
Like Block QT, which sounds like a Minecraft babe, but is actually a breakout clone that triples the length of the stage and makes the ball the size of measles. There's also Pocket Moo Moo, a space shooter
What?
with absolutely no cows, and Tales of Eternia, a rhythm game mixed with Tamagotchi but with a real
I've
woman.
never had a
And just like in
Tamagotchi.
real life, I can never seem to make her happy. Some of these save icons
Oh
don't
my-
look like phlegm. Believe it or not, this is Solid Snake. More like
Really? Solid.
deflated
Oh.
hippo. Although, to be fair, this Rupture Farms icon from Oddworld looks pretty damn great. Oh, sorry, it's not Oddworld in Japan, it's Abe a Go-Go.
Why?
Why is he coming out of his own? Honestly,
I've
this
never
version
heard
of the
of that
game is
one.
worth owning alone just for the Japanese Abe voice. Listen to how cute it is.
Hello. 待ってて。Go on.
It's like if Abe was voiced by Michael Jackson.
Who's
Go
Abe?
on. Go on.
Doo-doo feces.
And as
Muzanki
far as the
Butsuji?
slick
What?
voices go, I think he's having a hernia. But Abe is just too damn cute. Hey guys, come down and see this. Oh wait.
What do you mean?
She took the kids. Like I said, this thing
Oh.
was sadly Japanese
She took
only
the
and never
cats.
made it out of its home country. But Sony did at one point have bigger plans for it, since a few Western games do work with it, like Ridge Racer Type 4 and even Final Fantasy VIII. But it really is only
Still
a
never played
few.
Final
You'll
Fantasy.
find that 98% of all compatible games have
Crash
to be the Japanese copy.
Bandicoot.
So make sure you dig up your
I'm playing
Japanese
through 2
Metal
right now
Gear
on
Solid
Saturdays.
from Konami the best.
Yeah, they sure are.
And get ready to learn a brand new language from space, otherwise you're better off just... Oh, no,
I don't think it's
scratch that.
waterproof.
You don't
It
need
might
to
be,
learn
actually.
Japanese. The Crash 3 manual is English. I mean, don't you remember his famous Ringo bazooka?
His what? Oh, it's one of those things that like sends a gust of air.
I like children.
And now we move on to
What?
one of the coolest things I own.
Oh, I was expecting to be like a waffle
If you
maker.
didn't think your PS1 already looked enough
Like
like
a waffle
toilet,
maker that,
oh,
you know,
shit. Then feast your
has
eyes on this bastard.
PlayStation
Eat your
looks.
heart out, Steam Deck. Steam Deck. What is that? A cruise ship?
Is that really what the
Nintendo
Steam
Switch?
Deck
What's
looks like?
that? I thought I already had one of them. If you wanted
I
to play
don't.
3D games on the go in the late 90s and early 2000s, you got this thing. The
Mm-hmm.
PS1 LCD screen.
Yep.
PS1 little crinkly dentist. I have wanted this thing desperately ever since I was a kid.
I remember
when I
when
first
they
saw an
had
ad for it in
those
the
little
front cover
mobile things
inlay
for like Xbox and stuff, like
Stuart
mobile
Little
TVs.
2. Sometimes the best things come in little packages. The PS1 LCD screen for men below the national average.
Oh, lovely. Now I'm thinking about Stuart Little's Little Stuart.
The screen itself comes with built-in speakers, brightness buttons, and even a headphone jack. All you need is a power supply.
Oh, it has a headphone jack? It's already ahead of Apple.
I've always wanted to play Goofy's Funhouse in McDonald's.
As long as you can plug it in and have a PS1 disc and controller, you can use it. You can even play it on the train if you want.
Yes! I
Wait.
beat Psycho Mantis!
I cannot deny that this is probably my favorite PS1 accessory of all time.
It's
even for
also
as
look at the
toiletty as
speaker-
it looks. You see,
where the speakers
this is
are.
where the brown goes, and this is the secret bit.
Do you think they animated it under his trousers?
Oh,
No.
I completely forgot
Actually-
to tell all of you. Recently, I noticed that fuel prices were going up, so I did the sensible thing and I got me one of them new hybrid cars.
Okay, a Fiat 500. A car that's actually taller than it is wide,
This
by the way.
next thing I'm going to show you,
Way cooler than that. And it cost me more money. I'm broke.
Now the LCD screen may be
I mean,
my
I found
favorite
out that
PS1
a
accessory,
friend of
but
mine
this
stands
is without a doubt
outside of
the
a
crown
bar
jewel of my
that's
PS1 collection
smaller
so
than my
far.
bathroom.
See this box? It isn't
4
any
nights a
ordinary
week
PS1
and makes
console
more
box,
money than me.
because inside it is a Net
After taxes.
Rose development kit PS1.
20 hours a
which
week.
is not only
Makes
able
more
to
money
play
than me.
any
Working
PlayStation
70
game
hours a
from
week.
any region, but is also in matte black.
Ooh.
Ah.
God, it looks so clean
American
years
buttons I
later.
can't use it.
Ah.
This thing looks so good, man. Look at it. Oh, it's pretty. Oh, be my wife. I'm not even kidding. It's making me hyperventilate. For those who don't know, all the way
What?
back in the late
Dude,
90s,
matte
this
black,
system was
yes.
available for sale, bundled with a development kit to connect to your computer, allowing the public to create their own PS1 games from scratch just for fun. After which,
What?
these nutcases would then give their games away for free via PlayStation demo discs in magazines, the ultimate
Huh.
form of unpaid labor. Take notes, EA. The console I personally
Wow,
own
the
does
call-out.
have the original system and box it came in, but none of the software discs, manuals, or coding
Aw.
books. So me making my own game is not going to happen today. Or probably ever, but at the very least,
Don't
I
say
can finally
ever.
say that I own the piece of hardware that birthed the greatest death sound of all time.
That was done with this.
Surprisingly, though, there's tons
That's
of
a
rules
great
for it.
death
Just look
sound.
at this. Don't use a mining drill on it. Don't set it on fire. And while you're at it, don't touch it.
But that's
I mean,
not all.
but
Don't
it's matte
plug it
black.
in,
I
don't
have to
feed
touch it.
Don't paint it. Don't plug it in. Don't put games in it. Don't boil
Don't
a
put
kettle
games
on
in it?
Don't
What?
slap it while a window's open. Don't use it in an earthquake. Don't sleep on it. Don't use it as a shoe. And whatever you do, don't listen to music.
With
Just
it.
in general.
Oh.
You'll die. In fact, the only rule here that doesn't have a giant no next
Is-
to it is a picture of a baby reaching for it. So make sure you teach your kids to climb up and grab it.
Oh no. Oh god. Is it gonna knock it? Yeah, it's gonna
Okay,
yeah,
we've made
crush
a
it.
pretty
Yep,
good
saw that
start
coming.
into this video, I'd say. And for the most part, we've seen some pretty nifty PS1 gadgets. Some pretty useful, some pretty cool. It's been alright so far. But not anymore.
What?
Time to turn up the vomit volume, because from now
So
on,
now it's all
until the end of
useless
this video,
things?
we
Okay.
are scraping the bottom of the crusty barrel. Oh, you want to know what I think we really need for the PS1?
That's a
oh,
goofy
no,
impression.
Bill, what do we need? Oh, well, John, I'll tell you what we need. I don't know, we need a mobile phone adapter!
No, I'm not joking. This is a
What
device
plug?
to connect a 90s cell phone to your PS1 with a software disc.
Hello,
Oh man.
is that PlayStation?
Yeah, it does
The
not
best
plug
way I
into
can
his phone.
describe this ridiculous
And my father's
thing
calling
is
me.
that
Well,
if you
he's
owned
gonna
a
have to wait
Japanese cell
an
phone
hour and
that was
20-ish
compatible
minutes.
with Docomo's iMode, you could wire your brick into your PS1 and basically unlock it as a retro smartphone. Think of it like an external display. You could do all of your contact and office organizing, transfer data and games to your phone, and even use your phone's network provider to browse the internet on your TV.
Hello? Oh. The baby didn't make it.
You heard it right here, folks. 1 second you could be on your PS1 playing Sesame Street
and you get a phone
Sport,
call.
and then the next you can
Sounds like
plug in your
dial-up
phone
internet.
and mash one out. Have a look at this Mayan artifact,
Oh.
Motorola Graphite. They aren't even
What a
pretending
name.
it doesn't look like a slab of concrete. You know what though? I do miss the days when bad phone signal
I can
meant
stand.
grow more phone. And
Yep.
this thing,
Or
this
when
thing is
phones
so
had that
old, the
tiny
battery turned
little
into sawdust.
headphone adapter, which I don't even think it was for like headphones.
Have I sinned this man? No, I haven't.
Oh,
Ding dong
Spawns.
ding.
It
There's
spawns.
someone at the ding.
Spawns.
I wonder who that. Yes. Hello, Caddy.
Oh, cripes! It's my evil twin brother, Baddie!
oh, instead of Caddy,
Yes.
Batty.
So what do you want?
Oh no, I'm just expecting spawns.
PS1 train controller.
Train controller?
What you're looking at here is the Blade
He had to buy these.
Go 2 Premium Pack, a Japanese-only
premium.
PS1 bundle pack with 2 things: a
train?
train simulator game and a train deck controller that was made only for this single game.
That's cool!
And nothing else.
Choo choo, Thomas.
It's probably
This thing is absolutely
outrageously
adorable.
expensive
I
back
can't
then,
hate
but like,
it's like a
that's
real
cool.
tiny train for real tiny Tom Cruises. It even has a tiny drink holder for your tiny Mountain Dew.
I don't think it's Mountain Dew. Is it well built
This
at
is
least?
the single most seductive train simulator I've ever played. Look at the high energy, the passion, the
The
craft
quality.
of the editing.
Look at the
It's bordering
pixels.
on 18 plus. Oh, watch out! It's an anime girl
What? Why?
on the train.
Japan.
Okay, here's how they go. So here we are at the main menu. Now, the menu is navigated by you pushing and pulling this little mushroom while the horn buttons
cool.
confirm and go back. And to be honest, I'm terrified by whatever the material hall of train is. So let's keep things simple.
I
in
guess it's like a
arcade mode.
museum?
That one.
Why?
Yeah. He's got a friendly face. Okay, so
Yeah,
now
he
we
does
have
have a
our
smile.
objective. Drive a train.
ドアが閉まります ご注意ください
Thanks for the hints. I can't read them. And with that, we unlock the brakes
I-
with this
well,
thing here, pull this
I
thing
think
back to
train
give it
driving
gas,
is
and, oh my
universal.
God, we're a train. And you know the best thing? That's all you need to know. It's really that simple. You move this to the right whenever you want to tighten the brakes, and pull this back whenever you want to...
Whenever you want to
So even
what?
though I don't know what this is or what that is, it doesn't matter because I know the speed limit, I know how much time I have left, and
Dude,
I know how far
do they have
away I am
speed
from
limits
my next
technically?
checkpoint.
Or is
Oh
it more
no,
like,
I'm running out of time.
don't
Oh
go
God,
faster
come on,
than this?
Come on, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it, come on, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it!
ダイヤを守ってくださいね
You're late.
You're welcome. Oh, damn it, I failed. Fine, I'll continue.
So you have to be there at a certain amount of time?
Game
over.
over? I
do
lost
you
the
mean?
whole game because I wanted to keep going. Oh, what's that? I got a high score? That's nice of you. What's my name? Soil. And
Why
this
can
is
you
all very
name
well
your
and
train?
good.
But can you play Crash Bash with it?
We boot up the game, and unfortunately, we can't move
What?
the cursor. But I can select.
I didn't get to
whatever
play Crash
option is
Bandicoot
already
yesterday, 'cause I was in
highlighted, meaning
DC,
I can actually
but,
boot
like-
up single player, no problem. And this was all gearing up to be a massive disappointment until we got to the warp room. At which point, all hell broke loose.
That invisible
Your
wall?
eyes don't deceive you. I am perpetually running in place without actually moving anywhere as a monkey with a crocodile tail and a blowhole for a face. In fact, I can't do anything other than run left, run right, and run towards
Can
the
you not play
camera.
the game?
I can't go forward at all. And because I can't
What?
go forward, I can't pick any levels. But at least I can do a damn good running.
Wait,
man. Yeah,
so-
boy! Work it, sync to lips!
Wait, so
Okay,
it just
maybe
doesn't
this
work at all?
controller only works with left and
I
right
mean,
movement.
yeah,
so
okay, that makes sense.
Why don't we try a racing game like Roll Cage?
Well, for some reason, whenever the game starts up with the train controller plugged in, it boots up in French. It must be because it reminds it of the Eurostar. As you can see, it is absolutely unplayable chaos, which is a massive shame because
Look, it's
now I
not a
have to
steering wheel.
quit la course when I really want to continue here.
The French.
But now we have to ask
I took
a
3 years
real
of French.
question. Can you drive Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver with a
What
train?
is that?
Here is the game. As you can see, we've left the station, and the weird thing is that every single position on the train does
It-
something slightly different. I don't
Wait.
think I can get out of this.
So-
oh,
oh. What is the
Oh, I
mechanics
don't
behind
wanna
this
get out of room
controller?
anymore. This is in great time. Yeah, go on, fit off.
Well, I mean, you've got more movement than Crash Bash. And much like Roll Cage, every single notch on
Wait,
both
how does
sticks
it
does a
register?
completely different combination of things. Do you
What?
want to move forward while keeping the camera rotating? Do you want to crawl while shifting back and forth? Do you want to jump around in a stupid circle like some sort of Maytime fertility ritual? Then there's a gear stick position for you.
Oh?
If you ever wanted to feel like a tiny man trying to pilot somebody's brain while they have a blood clot, then this is the game for you. But what about a 2D platformer like
Gex!
the original Gex?
I actually haven't
Sadly,
seen
that
Gex
doesn't work
gameplay
whatsoever.
before.
But do you know what does?
No.
Rival schools?
No! Don't tease me with Gex.
Apparently I'm picking them.
Well, these kids must
Sure.
love school so much they can't stop themselves jumping 30 feet in the air every 2 seconds. Whoa, slow down, old horse. And aside from the non-stop jumping, I could only figure out how to move left and right with one end of the controller and grab or kick with the other end. Amazingly, though, I'm somehow winning. Oh yeah, I'm drop kicking
You're winning
kids
with a
in the
train
face
controller.
With a train brake.
That was the train
That's a
controller.
new way to play stick, by the way.
What? You don't think it can get any worse?
Oh, it can.
Trust me, it gets weirder.
I
than
think
that
it's gonna
from
get
here
way
on out,
worse.
let me tell you. That is far from the end of the train.
No, I think it's
controller.
actually cool.
Take a look at this thing, even.
Resident
Yeah.
Evil pad?
It's a Resident Evil gamepad, made specifically and only for Resident Evil games.
The run button is right next to the ready weapon button. Firing your weapon is a separate trigger on
That
the back,
exists
with
at-
that half of the controller being shaped like a handgun. Your map and inventory have separate buttons each, and it even has a turbo mode in case you want to do this.
Yeah.
This
what's
Resident
coming
Evil
up
2?
next gets even more
Or it could be
demented
1.
than that. Even in the world of something as simple and innocuous as the PS1 memory card.
How?
Yeah. Even these tiny little things can be screwed up.
Wait, that's a kite. Why does he have a tiny kite?
That memory card looks like it's about to sell me something.
I wonder why. It spawns. Yeah.
And today I'm here to talk to
Oh,
you about
NordVPN.
NordVPN, the #1 rated
Hello,
VPN
Spawns.
from Nord.
NordVPN is a service.
I really
that gives
wonder
your
what the
devices
behind the
their own
scenes look
private
like
encrypted network
when they
connected
do
to the internet
spawns.
to stop prying eyes getting your good stuff. Look at him. He thinks your credit card looks hot. And who can blame him? That jawline could cut a salmon.
Well, don't worry,
Oh.
because with NordVPN, you can remove him.
Oh. Really?
With their new threat protection feature, keeping you
Gas.
extra safe from trackers, nasty ads, and harmful websites or files, especially on public
Well,
Wi-Fi.
Alaska,
And I should
of
know,
all places.
because I've been making parts of this video away from home using NordVPN on public Wi-Fi while keeping completely secure.
But you still need to keep your door secure. Hello.
There are thousands of servers
doors-
around the
doors
world, so
locked.
wherever you are, you can remain private, safe, and with the fastest possible speed.
Yeah,
Not to
I
mention,
can't
if you
believe
can't access a
my
website
friend
in your country,
makes more than
just
me,
change your virtual
working 20 hours a
location
week,
and get in
just
there.
checking IDs at
Unblock
a
region-locked
bar
games,
that
find
has like
discounts from
3
other
seats.
countries, avoid DDoS attacks, block malware,
Working 4
weak
days a week
websites.
versus
All of this
me,
sounds good to
7
you,
days a
then
week.
enter the description right now to nordvpn.com/Caddicarus and use the promo
Also,
code
YouTube's doing something weird with the algorithm. I don't know what they're doing.
CADDICA. Can
I
we
don't-
get an easier code?
And you'll get an exclusive offer of a 2-year plan. with the
YouTube's
first
doing
month
something
entirely
right now.
free.
Not to mention, if
All
you
I'm
don't
seeing
like
are
this
YouTubers
service,
being, like,
there's a 30-day
freaking out
money-back guarantee for you
because
and
of how
me.
bad everything
So
is.
get NordVPN today.
And it's also
Oh my God! Once again, the web
tax
address
season,
and promo
'cause
code
double taxes.
nordvpn.com/Caddicarus. Now, if you don't
I love
like,
when
I'm going to
people-
bed.
oh.
Are you making me save South Park Chef's Love Shack?
These
Yes.
are some of the best things about the PS1. You saved your game to these, and not the physical games themselves, like with most of the Nintendo library. If you needed to replace your game disc for whatever reason, the memory
What?
card was always going to be there to catch you.
Oh, really? Oh, I guess, yeah, because it was saved there. And...
You
Wait,
got your
did they
basic
save it onto
grey
the disc?
official ones, but for a lot of people, they were a little too expensive-wency. So instead, you
So you
got
buy
yourself
cheap
a
ones.
third-party one, usually from a video game store with its branding spat all
I
over
never
it,
had to
but
use
sometimes with cool
a
little extra
save
benefits like
disc.
digital displays to let you know how many memory blocks you had left on that
What's a
card,
memory
or
block,
extra
like a
info printed on
slot?
the back, like how many megabytes it is, which doesn't help you in any single way, even slightly. And then you have the ones where you're sitting there and you say to yourself, oh boy, I really like this plastic shell that saves my games, but I really wish it had more driver on it. And then boom! Well, there you go. Wish granted.
Just a
Check out
driver
this
themed? Okay.
disgraceful turd.
Is it
This was
cut off,
officially
like, the
licensed
head?
by the makers of the game, by the way. It's one thing adding a monocle on top of a thing that does absolutely
But the
nothing.
picture's
they
not
went
even,
the
like,
extra step to assure that the bloody
good.
logo is upside down whenever you use it. Gee, thanks, Mum. I always
fine.
wanted to play that game, Benibd. Well, thankfully, if you don't like Driver 1 or you don't want your memory card looking like an Egyptian hieroglyphic slab, you can have a Driver 2 memory
Oh,
card
much
instead.
better. They
Much
learned their
better.
lesson.
Simple, sophisticated, the
you know-
right way up, and surprisingly curvy. Why does this memory card have childbearing hips? And then, all the way in Murica, a
Where I am.
hotshot business CEO heard someone say this and got an idea.
Jerry,
guns.
we need to make our memory cards hot. No, sir, stop it. Isn't this enough? It needs tits, Jerry.
And so we
Wait,
ended
what?
up with this.
A
Tomb
Lara
Raider 3
Croft
character memory card that is literally just the top half of Lara Croft surgically fused onto a bit of plastic. The attention to detail of which is so accurate, they made extra sure to put holes where they would be in real life. Although there
my
are
God.
3 here, so I guess she had a bad tear. Special serial
Oh.
number collector's edition. Wow, sounds rare. I'd better make sure to be extra careful when I remove it.
Dude, those plastic containers are the worst.
I heard you liked Lara's baps.
I mean, if you want to talk about unnecessary, this is probably where
mean,
the definition of
it's
the
at least
word came
painted
from.
well.
Sure, it's a functional PS1 memory card, but that's all there is to
Like,
it.
the
You can't
details
use it as
of
an
the
action
paint,
figure.
like-
She's upside down while you're using it. Her waistline doesn't fit on the plastic. Her entire back half doesn't exist. I mean, I've definitely heard of being
Oh.
flat-chested, but how about being flat-backed? And I'm sorry, but I still
Flat
can't
back's
get over
crazy.
the fact that my memory card has a rack. I suppose you could argue at least they focused on the right end, but just let that sink in for a second.
yeah.
This is the
At least
only
you know it's
thing in
her.
the world that saves your PS1 games and has breets.
Nice. How much do those go
And
for?
then your dad would come in.
That's fine. You're a big Lara
And then
Croft
he'd
Tomb
say
Raider
to
fan.
you, "Oh, hi, son. I'm sorry I was gone for a while." Say,
How Lara
that's
Croft
a
made all her
nice
money.
Play Tendo you've got there.
I-
Can I use
I've
my
actually played
floppy
and
disks
streamed
from my
Tomb Raider,
computer
as well as
on
Resident
there?"
Evil, up to
And
4.
then you turn around and say, "No, Dad." And then he'd turn back to you and say, "You lie! You lie! He's a child!"
No, I am not making this up. This is a PS1 computer floppy disk adapter for your memory card slot.
I remember
Perfect
floppy
for storing
disks.
your school bag in. This is an exceedingly rare piece of tech from the 90s, and at the time I'm sure it was useful since floppy disks were so much cheaper than memory cards.
Yep.
But nowadays, because it's so rare, I forked out $450
Oh,
for it.
man.
$450
For that.
so that you can save
Who
your
is-
copy of Anna Kournikovas Smash Court Tennis on your dad's old naked picture drive.
So yeah, if you
The
want to
fact that
play
people are
your
like, "Oh,
PS1
let's sell
games
this."
and save your data, do not get these. They're too rare, too expensive. No one even uses floppy disks
Who even
anymore.
buys
And sum it
that?
up in one word: screw off.
Let's do it.
Here's a
No,
relatable situation.
It's one word now.
When you're playing your PS1, do you ever find that you're struggling so much on Chicken Run that you get so
Yeek.
mad and it's enough for you to do this?
I'm pretty sure there's a couple screws
Yeah.
Well
prevent
then,
that.
get therapy. And then buy yourself the Namco NEGCon. Yes, it's called the NEGCon. N-E-G-Con, NEGCon. I don't know, I don't care. I'm calling it the NEGCon. And if you don't
Yeah.
like that and try to correct me, then I know you're somebody I don't want to hang out with. Check this
Now,
out.
so you
Yes,
just
the
twi-
NEGCon
oh,
allows
twi-
you
oh.
to twist your
Twist it.
controller.
Pull
My
it.
favorite pastime next to beat the dog up. And to give credit, it does feel surprisingly natural. But these buttons here do not. These top buttons here are just regular controller buttons. But these
But-
ones here are like 8 times the height of those buttons. And whenever you want them to work,
have to go
you've
so
gotta push
far to
them
travel
all
distance,
the way
yeah.
in, like your gut after a roast. It really does feel horrible. And I mean, just no R2, no L2, no
Just-
select button. This thing is a freak of nature, like a really ugly
Why is no
baby.
one else
And just
taking
like
that
any
design?
good,
Was it
ugly
patented or
baby, I
something?
don't want to kill it until I've pretended to drive it around like a racing car. And I'm glad I did, because I have to be honest, the original Ridge Racer on this thing is actually my preferred way to play that game. It feels really good to steer twisting
yeah.
the controller, and it even steers by the exact amount of pressure you apply to each rotation. But let's get creative here. This thing is a Namco controller, so why don't we try out another Namco game on it, like Soul Blade?
Wait,
Well,
so
this is
that
why, because all the
actually
twisting
does
the
something? The
controller
twist
does is
actually-
block, which actually makes you look
I
like
thought
you're
it was
blocking
just kinda
yourself
like,
from
there was no
Voldo's
tech,
scary
it was
Colander
just
knock. And if you try the NEGCon with
comfort.
Pac-Man World, you'll find that
It
you
actually
can
steers it like a-
customize the controls in the options to whatever buttons you'd like.
It steers like a
Meaning that, oh
steering
yeah,
wheel.
I can shoot by twisting left and jump and butt bounce by twisting right. This makes the game an instant 10 out of 10. Every jump in every game should be mapped to a twisting controller. It looks like you've got problems and you're mapping your own buttons on Pac-Man World, so you probably do. But imagine how great real
Yeah.
life would be if jumping worked like...
That game has remappable buttons, but
And you know
a
what's
lot of games
great?
don't.
Namco didn't even stop there. Those mental cases made another lovely souffle with gone-off eggs, the Namco JogCon. The only
What are
product
the-
in
what
the
are these
world with
names?
jog in the title that requires you sit down to use it. Get this, you've got a regular PS1 controller,
What does
right?
that do?
But with a
Is it just-
wheel stapled in between its legs, and the wheel doesn't ever centralize when you spin it, meaning that one single turn of it makes you... Yeah, it's basically a miniature record player Frankenstein
Yeah.
on top of a controller, and it's even loud enough
Why
to
is it
sound
so
like you're
big?
scratching records as well.
But to be fair, it does
Sounds
sound
like a
much
cheap
better
toy.
when you put it on a real record player.
As for the controller itself, it does feel great to hold if you enjoy having your knuckle skin scraped off. And when you play a
With
racing game
plastic.
like Disney World Magical Racing Tour, even though you have a wheel right here to use as a
doesn't
wheel,
steer.
you can't turn any of the carts, even though this
So
is
what
one
is
of the
it-
only
what
single
is it
instances
for?
where a wheel glued onto your controller would sound like a reasonable thing to do.
What is the purpose of that?
Disney World.
Unless you're gay, then get out. It doesn't stop there either. If you try playing Spider-Man, the controller works perfectly fine as a standard controller whenever the wheel mode is turned off, but doesn't work whatsoever when the wheel mode is turned on.
And I know what you're thinking.
Wait,
well, little
why?
Jimmy
What is-
Shitpants,
what-
just make sure you never turn on the wheel mode and the problem is solved.
Unless you have to for certain things.
Except it isn't, because whenever you do turn wheel mode off, the game itself automatically turns it back
Why?
on and stops itself from being able to be played. Have you ever seen a game actively spit out the controller you're trying to use with it, even though it does have a mode that works?
Dude, the game
Spider-Man
rejects the
on
controller or
PS1
something
learns
crazy.
to hate. Is it racist? And you know what other game discriminates against this controller?
Every game.
Barbie Explorer should be a match
Really?
made in heaven, right? Namco Jog Con, Barbie Jogs. Yeah, that's it. But no, the controller does not work. She's clearly far too Aryan for this. Why do these games allow the controller to work and then override it immediately?
Yeah,
I would
why-
love
like,
to use the Jog-Con to unlock
what
the
would-
secret of the
is it
mystic
because,
mirror
like,
with
it's
Barbeatum,
spitting
but
out, like,
she
an
just
error
won't
code or
let
something
me.
like
What
that?
the hell else can we try then? Breakout? To move the paddle?
What paddle? What?
Surely no.
What in
Works.
the...
I
Is
mean,
this
don't
supposed to
get
be
me
like
wrong,
Pong?
the edges of the wheel are horribly jagged, and this little round dip is just sharp enough around its edges to eventually blister your thumb. But amazingly, this controller works with the Atari 3D remake of Breakout with the story mode about a rectangle with a face that gets thrown in prison and puts up a swimsuit picture of his rectangle
In his
girlfriend
prison
because
cell.
that makes his rectangle feel like a rectangle.
And I know what's probably
Okay,
on your
good
mind.
for him.
Well, this is a Namco controller, so the wheel bit here is probably only compatible fully with
No,
Namco
it's not.
games.
They don't make a single
And
game
if
that
you were
uses
gonna
it,
say
do they?
Ridge Racer Type 4, you'd be correct.
What even
Yeah.
are these games?
And that's it. That's the
One
only
game?
Namco game I could get working with it. In fact, out of my
They
entire
made one
PS1
game that
collection,
works
do
with
you wanna
their
know what
own
I managed
controller.
to get working with this wheel? Ridge Racer Type 4, Breakout, and V-Rally 2. That was it.
Yeah.
So if you want a controller for the worst possible way to play these three games and nothing else, then I highly recommend it.
Chances are, if you were a
Don't
kid
even
in the
know what the price
90s and
would be.
owned a PS1, you really wanted to shoot someone with a gun. And luckily, when Namco weren't making controllers compatible with as many games as hair on a teenage lip, they were the frontrunners of the PS1 gun accessory with their classic G-Con 45, featuring a big ol' bee sting. Personally, I have two PS1 G-Con gun
Why do you
game
need
bundle
two?
packs.
I mean,
the
I have
original
three guns,
Time
but-
Crisis one and the original Point Blank one. And both of these
They
games
look identical.
are the true definition of classic. These are a special kind of cardboard box. You know, the really old ones stored in someone's loft for decades, so they have that distinctive musk that makes you... Motion controls
like,
and
the
gyro
summer heat,
controls
yeah.
are all right for gun games nowadays, but nothing quite matches the same raw satisfaction as aiming an actual gun at your TV, looking down the sights, and then letting them have your barrel.
Wow.
The biggest disappointment with this technology nowadays,
Is-
though, is that it doesn't work on any modern day TVs. 4K, HD,
Oh,
it doesn't
so there's
matter.
only
If
CRT.
it's LCD and has a flat screen, this isn't gonna work. If you want to get this working, you need to get yourself an old, boxy CRT
Yep.
TV.
Which there's
So
a
I
there's a
decided
science
to
behind.
get myself one, and now I feel like a
Yeah,
kid
probably for
again.
free.
Point Blank, Time Crisis, Lethal Enforcers, Die Hard trilogy. It's all just as great as I remember.
I mean, I
but
can
if
play
this
along.
isn't your kind of thing, or you were a bit worried that you didn't look enough like a specky nerd, you can always use a Star Trek phaser instead.
That's why this gun deserves the salvage.
I've never seen
This
Star
phaser
Trek or
gun
Star
in
Wars or
particular is
any
from
of
a
that.
company I'm sure you've all heard of before, Mad Catz. The number
Oh,
one
yeah, we all know
control
Mad
brand for
Catz.
unloved brothers and sisters. But
I
the
even know
advantage
about
of it
Mad
not
Catz.
being made for PlayStation is that it's Saturn compatible too, and that's pretty
Sega Saturn.
Neat, but none of this matters because at the end of the day, none of the guns work on modern flat screen TVs. So what you need to do is get yourself a Sinden light gun.
Oh yeah, this here is a USB camera-based gun controller.
This is a
that you
USA.
can use on most PC console emulators that have light gun shooters, and it works scarily well for whenever you want to point your blanks on a big telly.
Hey everybody, it's Caddy.
What?
I just wanted to stop this video briefly for a sec.
And do
because,
what?
It'll be public information soon anyway, so I figured I might as well burst the bubble myself before you hear it from secondhand from someone else, but I didn't have enough time to set up the Sinden light gun and record footage of me using it on an emulator.
Okay.
I can't apologize enough.
And if that still isn't
why?
enough for you,
Why is he making a big apology out of that?
This,
so many guns.
This is a handgun.
That's a handgun.
There's no two ways about it. This is a Glock.
And
this is a bloody gun.
Definitely
it
not a
looks
Glock.
Exactly like a goddamn handgun.
It doesn't even have the orange around it.
Oh yeah, we're stepping out of the boy zone and into the man zone.
They couldn't make this thing look any more like a gun if they
It
tried.
actually
We're
kinda
going
looks like
straight
my
up
carry gun.
Coolio's greatest hits over here. No orange tip, no weird shape.
Yeah,
I actually
no
had
orange
this
tip is
idea to go
crazy.
to the city and point this at random people for
don't,
a joke and then show them,
don't.
haha, look, it's a toy gun. But the more I look at it, the more it looks like I actually want to kill them, and I don't think the balaclava was a good idea either. I mean, did you want to look even more badass when playing Resident Evil Survivor? Because with this thing now you can. It even has vibration.
Dude, an
feedback so that you
attachment
can,
to put
and
on my
I
gun to
quote,
work with, or
feel
guns to work
every
on.
shot. It's not bad enough being Detective
like,
John
Resident Evil
McClane
awesome.
shooting an innocent woman at the airport. You need to feel
No
like
Russian.
you've done it, and make sure you do it with the built-in machine gun mode. PlayStation. Teaching children police brutality is okay since 1995.
The wheels on the bus
Okay, it's a Glock with a switch.
round and round
Show me more guns.
day long. 'Cause someone cut the brakes.
Oh no, it's Jim. Do you mind? I was just about to tuck into some Pepsi Maximilian. I'm so sorry.
I haven't
But I've
had
got a
soda
big
since
circle for you.
2014.
That's nice, but who made it? Meow.
Mad Cats, of course.
Well, now we know it's gonna be good.
Okay.
Remind me to stop kissing you.
The steering wheel.
No.
The quintessential
Well, that's like Logitech.
console
That is
peripheral.
Logitech.
Basically every console
God, they're
has their
so
own version
expensive.
of the wheel.
God, I
Even
want a racing
today,
sim.
It's like the Cenozoic era. This wheel is probably what Mad Catz is best known for, and for good reason.
I don't know.
It's a wheel that steers cars on PlayStation and doesn't break. I mean, take it from the racing legend Mario Andretti himself.
I mean, he is a racing
It's the
legend.
#1
That is
steering
absolutely
wheel
true.
For the PlayStation. Yeah, he really said that. Right before he took his lovely tanned skin and dyed half of it bright pink. Team Mad Catz. Oh, Jesus. Look at these guys. They look like they run around supermarkets and unpeel bananas. The Mad Catz PS1 wheel does everything it says on the
that an
tin.
RX-7?
It steers, accelerates, brakes, and the vibration
Dorito
feedback on
chip.
the wheel itself is a fantastic touch. It even uses race-proven foot pedals, which means that they
How?
use them in actual racing cars like this
Do they?
guy's.
It's not a racing car. It's just a Jaguar.
But you know what I want to know? Can you drive Silent Hill?
And the answer is yes. After Harry Mason crashes his car, he then becomes the car. Traffic is great in Silent Hill. I
I'm
highly
friends
recommend
with
it as
a
cut
couple
through. You wanna hear
NASCAR
the best
drivers,
thing, though?
and
for some reason, the acceleration
I
pedal
wonder if
is
they
the
know about
run
this.
button. You hit the gas
the first?
to make Harry sprint. It's almost
Yeah,
like Mad
you're
Catz
controlling
knew
him.
We would try this, and I love them for it. Thanks, Mario.
Here we go. It's a me, Mario. Come on, children.
But I hear you. Not everybody in the world has quite the same amount of space in their home for something as thick as this.
I mean, it's a conversation
So
starter.
perhaps you'd like to try out the PS1
Also, the
Ultra Racer controller.
gear shifter?
Much slimmer, fits
Or maybe
in
it's a
one
gear
hand,
select.
the healthy option, like wholemeal bread. I mean, it has to be good. It has
Wholemeal
analog
or
key
whole
steering
wheat?
and a non-volatile memory.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
Honey, you forgot to take the bins out.
God damn you, Ben! So let's give this bad boy a wash. I'm going to test it with 3, 2, 1 Smurf. The main cutscene starts up, I'm able to skip it, and then absolutely nothing. I'm playing
But
a driving game
you
with
can't
a driving
control?
controller, and I can't drive. It just doesn't work. I don't have anything else to say. I mean,
You use a
does
different
do
controller
lot
to
of
get past the
little
menu?
beeps.
Okay.
But that's
Okay,
not
we're
enough.
setting
Come on,
something.
you old rotary dial telephone. I want to play 3, 2, 1 Smith. What do you want me to do instead?
Not.
Twiddle it?
Now that does look fun.
Actually, that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
Who needs a girlfriend when you have this?
Okay, fine. 3-2-1 Smurf is a baby's kart racing game, probably not made with wheel controllers in mind. So how
Yeah.
about we try something a little bit fairer, like V-Rally 1.
And before we get into the actual test, I can't imagine when the hell
The
I'll ever talk about
Impreza.
this game again, so I just have to mention the music for a second. This tune that plays during the level select screen is absolutely hilarious. It's the funkiest thing ever written, but also sounds like the band drop all of their instruments on the floor every few seconds.
I think that's called a rift, right?
As for the game itself with the controller, yep, it works. It's a wheel,
good?
it steers, it moves the car with the same level of sensitivity you put on the wheel.
Okay,
It's
a good wheel. Yeah. Oh, dude, rally drivers are another thing. I don't think that's technically rally, but actually it might be.
I've got another wheel. The PS1 top
That is
drive
literally an
reactor,
RC
shaped like a
car
toy
remote.
control.
Yeah.
And it uses the latest active
Which
jogging
those things are
technology.
expensive.
Hey, get back here! This
Escape.
thing is an absolute disgrace. It's not a game controller, it's an assault rifle. L2,
No,
L3,
that's in the other room.
R2, R3, and select is down here. There's multiple switches here, a D-pad in the middle of the action buttons like a DVD remote, a start button
True.
up here, two separate triggers right on top of each other,
that's normal.
L1 and R1 here, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. Did the Zodiac Killer make this? Converts DualShock games into active feedback. What the
What do you mean
hell
active
are you talking
does it
about?
have,
Am
like-
I having a stroke? Logic
Does it vibrate?
3, more like unlogic 4. Okay, well,
I'm
to give
expecting
this
a
thing
picture of
little
Logic
bit
to
of
appear,
credit,
but
to
apparently
start
no.
with, the wheel didn't centralize just like the one on the Joy-Con. But then immediately after plugging it into the console,
will.
the wheel springs
Yeah.
magically into position.
Because of
Pretty high tech.
And it definitely works for sure. But if
What
you're
is it,
trying to
just a
play
servo
slippery
motor?
old Toy Story Racer with it, you're going to want to exit your own life very quick and painlessly. You will just oversteer all the time and flip your shit around constantly. So next I thought I'd try Micro Machines V3. Only one problem though. You can't go. For this game, you have to
What?
use your thumb on the X button. No
To
switches
go.
here
Oh,
made a
okay.
difference. So then I jumped back into Gran Turismo to see if it was just incompatible, but
No,
nope.
push all the
Exactly
buttons.
Same story. I couldn't accelerate with this thing no matter how much I tried, so I guess it's just luck that decides whenever it wants to work. And that's exactly what I want with
in
my
case
game
the
controllers that
buttons
I needed
wanna
to control
register?
the game. Luck. Not that I care anyway, because you can't imagine how uncomfortable this thing is. Steering while holding X like a chimpanzee is one thing, but in general, it's too bulky, too heavy, and it only
Oh,
works
it is
with Toy
heavy?
Story
It looks
Racer,
rather
so-
light.
And I would just throw this thing in the skip, but there's one
How
very
expensive?
important question I need to answer with it. Can you drive the Grinch?
Yes, you
You
can.
can. Very gradually.
The D-pad here does not work, but all the other buttons do, so you're basically just stuck nudging him left and right with the steering wheel over and over again to make him step forward.
That's fine. This is normal. Everything's okay.
Turismo.
Hey, have you got anything else other than wheels?
No, Stan.
Ooh, dog.
What? A
Du-
guitar controller?
I like the
for
color
PS1?
scheme.
That's strange, isn't it? Back in 1999, it was actually Konami that came up with the idea for an arcade-based rhythm game
They were the
featuring a
first?
guitar controller, which would then go on to inspire the much more well-known Guitar Hero and Rock Band years later. It was called Guitar Freaks, just like this guy. The cabinets later got some ports onto the PS1 with the guitar peripheral in Japan only again. And you know what? Aside from the two
I like
missing
the color
fret buttons,
scheme.
this thing is practically indistinguishable from Guitar Hero. It even has a built-in
Yeah, it
motion-activated
really- I
command
guess they
to go
didn't
into
patent
extra
it.
scoring mode, but the game calls it wailing play. The Guitar Freaks games are basically just Guitar Hero, but
What is with
simpler
those
and
faces
on the
popping
PS1.
up?
There's not much to say, so how about we try to guitar Dino Crisis?
What? This is him just using weird controllers on games that
I'm not doing anything.
Okay, so the strumming
weren't
bar does
designed.
absolutely nothing at all, and all you can do with the 3 fret buttons is open your menu or waddle forward like Santa in a buffet. You do not stop turning left, no matter how much you shout at the game, so the only way to move forward
like
is
a
to wait for the lazy to
CS:GO.
orbit around to the correct direction, move forward for a little bit, stop, and repeat. It's
This
not
is
so
fine.
much like you're playing Dino Crisis, and more like you're making your way back to your bed in the middle of the night cosplaying as the moon. So why don't we try out Pandemonium
The moon
instead?
doesn't
Whoa, Jesus H. Christ, it's
rotate,
slippers. Calm down,
though.
woman! Stop it! Slow down! Oh. Nothing?
The moon is
That it?
landlocked to us.
You're not going to stop? Don't play Pandemonium with a PS1 guitar. More at 11.
Noted.
Okay, last test.
Didn't
Driver 2.
think I
a
would
driving
ever
game
would.
might actually work with this thing.
Now this is one of my favorite combinations, guitar and driver 2, and I'll show
Yeah,
you why.
wait.
First of all, strum bar.
Oh, I was
doesn't
hoping that was
anything.
gonna do
That
throttle
kinda
in
sucks, but
reverse.
Luckily, we've got some other buttons. Red button does that.
Okay. Not
Very
useful, yeah.
Blue button brakes, which is useless.
Green
right
is
now
go.
because we're not moving. Green button goes forward.
Okay.
So we can't steer. But my favorite part of all of this is that tilting does this.
What?
Ah! Whoa!
Oh, dead. Dead.
Whoa!
driver's side
I
tree.
noticed you there. Say, do you like my new gaming peripheral? It's a wrist strap finger piano.
What was the with the power glove, the angry video game nerd video I did? Great dude, by the way.
Is that another pissing wheel?
It's the PS1
in the
Mega
middle
Racer controller.
Why do they keep trying to
like
literally
done,
reinvent the wheel?
It's the sequel to Oh no. Is this thing a controller or a shitting banana? The D-pad feels horrible. It's really stiff, like an old sponge is stuck underneath it. But the strange thing is that the wheel itself works absolutely fine. I'd say it was better than the Namco one, and this was made by Who Cares Limited.
I'm getting so sick
what?
of racing games, though. Can we please...
Holy
You play
shit,
what?
you can. Yes, lads, this actually works. If you ever wanted to steer Yoshimitsu into a little Japanese nature activist, then pick up this controller right
That's a
now
sentence.
and relish in the fact that you can't jump, duck, or do any moves that involve pressing up or down while wondering where all of the grease on the rubber came from.
Finally, now I can sit down and enjoy my maximum pep.
Maximum pep.
Excuse
Oh, God.
me?
It's another wheel.
Why?
I think the Formula
I don't know
Racer
if that's a
wheel.
wheel.
By Gamester. So we
Does
must
he
be
like
in
Formula
safe
1?
hands. This is the biggest piss of the lot. Look at this madman contraption.
Oh,
What do you
why?
do with it? Play games or do garden landscaping. Here's a good quote.
Why?
For an incredible racing experience. Said no one. This is a contagious mass that doesn't know if it's a game controller or a wheel, so ends up looking like it wants to kill
Dude, that's
itself.
like bop
I
it.
can practically hear it crying at me to end it. It's only 1/4 of a wheel, and the rest is a big red roof tile. Plus, all of the R triggers and buttons are sprinkled randomly all over the back and extremely hard to press, making it look like you're tickling a giant clam. And the worst thing
Why is there
about
so
it
many
is that
buttons?
it works. But at what cost? Because I can't figure out if I should hold it like this, or this, or this. Let's try playing Tom.
I think
I'm very
you're
happy
supposed to
I
reach
did,
the
because
buttons
I actually
behind,
prefer
right?
using this controller for side scrollers instead of racers. It works
Why?
surprisingly brilliantly and even has vibration support. What the hell am I doing with my life? I'm driving a caveman with pink hair into a farting bum tree, and the best feature of the whole controller is plastered right on the box.
It turns.
It turns.
Whoa.
Yep, it's a wheel. I'd like to think it does.
Okay, I swear to God, that's it. No more wheels. I promise.
Okay,
There's
maybe.
way too many other stupid controllers to look at, so I'm done with all of the wheels.
One
That
more wheel,
reminds me,
please.
I haven't looked over at this end of the room for a while.
Here we go!
Oh, hello.
I'm
That's
Lord
not how you...
Dennis.
Ooh, hoo-hoo. How fun. Yeah.
I want to play a game with you!
Please don't.
In one hand, I'll have another accessory, and in the other hand, I'll have the wicked itch.
The what?
That one.
Oh no! Get ready for the wicked itch!
Okay. This is normal. This is okay. This is fine.
The other one.
Yeah!
Gee, thank you
Why
so
is the box
much,
so
Lord
big?
Dennis. I can't wait to play with the
Evolution?
Gamester motion controller.
That box is old.
Oh, long.
Control.
I have a
is
friend that me and my friends just like look at him and go, why is he so
Control games
long?
with the
It's like
slightest
6'5".
movement. That sounds
6'6".
utterly miserable. This is the Gamester Evolution motion-sensitive control system, an entirely motion-based PlayStation supermarket.
Why is the box so
barcode
big?
Scanner with a wrist attachment.
Oh,
that looks
that's
like it
why.
could send drones to a small village.
The strap smells like weed.
When you use it, you hold on to
I mean, who
one
else
end
would own
while
it?
strapping the other on for the motion stuff. But while using that end, you need to be certain that you're dead central on all axes the entire time, which means holding your arm out like this, looking like if C-3PO was made of ham. The idea with this half of the thing is that you can program any PS1 button you want onto each tilted direction, combined with the physical buttons here. So if you want to play Muppet Race Mania and make accelerate shutting the trapdoor and slowing down, oh, steady on, boy, then you can do that. But
okay.
what you can't do is turn off any of the tilted inputs. You have to assign
Oh,
a
at least
command
it, like,
to
tells
every
you.
direction. And it's so easy to accidentally activate all of them at once that in a racing game you might as well make left and right tilting the steering, meaning that Kermit just goes off on one wherever the hell he feels like, leaving you overcorrecting your own twisted arm as if you're puppeteering an actual Muppet that kidnapped your family. You
Yeah,
get
your arm
creative
can't
with
really
this
rotate
thing, though, no
too
doubt.
much.
Like if you play Moto Racer 2 and set accelerate to tilting your arm back like a real bicycle. Or Tomb Raider, where you can twist left to get your guns out and then lift your arm back to fire them, like a real
That's pretty
woman.
cool.
But overall, it's absolutely horrendous,
that
which
song.
makes this half of the controller even funnier. All of the buttons are right here to press and work.
So you don't
why
need it
you
at
just
all.
use them?
But I can't let this thing beat me. Give me a game to beat with it. Any game at all. I'm Cad the Chad. I can handle it.
Really?
My reptile puzzle.
Oh, Christ,
Rugrats.
we're all dead.
Oh no! Oh, this is going great. I can't even get out of the playpen. Look at this. Look at this. I love it. I love it so much. Oh no!
Okay.
Oh dear, I'm on the table. Tommy, get off of the sofa. You're gonna hurt yourself. You can't handle anymore. You've already given yourself brain damage as it is. It doesn't matter what mode you're in or which way
Whoa.
you twist the ant coffin. This lousy great dollop just doesn't work. But surely
So you can,
it
like,
must.
manually
It has
twist it?
audio sounds. Well, I suppose if you want to play Rugrats and actually feel like an infant that can't walk, then this is the way you want to do it. How about we try a rhythm game like Jamalami?
Good, cool, good, bad, awful. What am I looking at right now, by the way?
It's supposed to make you feel like... But in reality, you look like this. Not to mention, it absolutely kills
Like
your
the Power
arm.
Glove.
Am I Jim Caddick or bloody Geppetto? But hey, you know what else this thing can do? It can be used to map analog stick directions. So you know what that means? Ape escape, baby.
Only problem
escape.
is you
What?
can only do one of two things. One, program this thing to read only one analog stick, meaning you can only run or use gadgets. Or two, program two directions to use gadgets while the other two directions move you around. That's what I did.
Look at me go. All I can do is move left and right, and even then, I can't really move left or right. Go on, Spike,
This is
you
fine.
can do it. Ignore
I don't
the
think you can.
chafing. Well, at the
You
very
can't.
least, I can do this.
Okay, he used a gadget,
Yes,
I think. Using that.
finally, my lifelong dream realized. I can cast a monkey net like a camp whipping boy. I'm absolutely stunned that this doesn't work, but how can that be? It incorporates dual force and technology. Come on, I can catch a monkey, at least one monkey before I
That's
quit.
not how
Come
it
on,
worked. There was another
come on,
company.
Come on! Oh, this is pointless. I can't catch anything with this. It's easier catching head lice.
I'm sorry, does that monkey have a what on his head?
Nah, man, I'll show you the real way to use this bad boy.
On
Boot
what?
up Tekken 2, program left fist attacks to tilting forward, input
Dude,
the
my
first-person
wrist would
mode
hurt.
wireframe cheat.
Huh?
Immediately, you are part of the game. Even I
Just
have to
play
admit,
Wii Sports.
coolest thing I've ever done. The Gamester Evolution, made for men with cardboard beards.
Oh God, finally.
You know what though? Sometimes you don't want gimmicks. You don't want wheels, you don't want motion, you don't want guitars.
Then what do you want?
You don't even want
What?
trains.
I want
Sometimes
trains. The
you
train
only
one's cool.
want a controller that isn't made by the people who make the console, and that's where third-party controllers come
Oh,
in.
no,
like
there's
this
so many of
Titan
them.
Concepts
Mad Cat's
controller
gonna
I
make
got
another
here
appearance.
for use with PlayStation or the P-Zone, made in
What's that?
China. By Paul. A lot of these
Oh,
kinds
hi,
of
Paul.
controllers are the same
Hi,
thing.
I'm
They
Paul.
function identically to Sony's controllers, but break within one day. They can sometimes come with extra benefits though, like the pre-mentioned turbo button on the Resident
To
Evil
speed it
pad
up.
that automatically presses a single button for you over and over again, faster than you can think. But what got me interested in this controller in
Is this
particular
slow?
was this little feature here, a slow mode.
Does it
I
slow
have
the game
never
down?
heard of this before. Well, while I'm already here, let's try it out on Pappy Rappy. Huh. Okay.
What? Slow mo
that's
just stops the
Shadow Man.
game?
Right, so slow mode doesn't do anything here either, which sucks because Shadow Man could really do with running slower. Turbo mode works absolutely fine though, meaning I can do this. This begs the question though.
So it really doesn't
what
speed up, it
does
just
slow
pushes the same
mode
button. It's
do?
like a macro
Believe
key.
it or not, it took me multiple tries in multiple games before I landed on one that made me figure it out. Santa Claus saves the Earth. So get this,
What?
when you aren't using
How?
a turbo
Why?
button to make Santa have a sugar-induced heart attack, the slow mode actually does this.
There will be flashes.
Yes, it pauses and unpauses the game as quick as the game you're playing allows. And that's it. This is apparently what
Why?
the controller calls slow, and I can see
I mean,
why.
it's slow.
Because it's stupid. Metal Gear Solid, it did exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Mr. Domino, a game that could
What is
really
Mr.
benefit
Domino?
from a slow mode, did exactly the same thing. The only, and I repeat, only time this slow mode would actually help you is if the game you're playing has a pause screen that is instant and doesn't flip between two totally different screens all the time, so you're left going blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, all over the floor. Rayman 1 is one of those games, and sure, it's tolerable, but if If you'd rather play the game
so
like
slow.
this, I'd have to interview your parents to find out where they went wrong with you. Crash 1 is another one that
Oh,
works,
Crash
but
1,
it's
I
probably my
recently
favorite
beat that
because the
game.
music and sound effects don't pause along with the game, meaning that if
Okay,
you die,
why?
you get treated to an extra long game over screen, just as painful as actual death.
Okay.
Oh God! Now who's at the door?
Hello again.
Oh, it's Batty.
It's my evil twin.
Oh, no, okay. So this controller by Titan Concepts.
Why did he just show up?
The only third-party controller for the PS1, and if you thought
Oh,
there
yeah,
were
no,
only
there's
a
gonna be
few
a ton.
third-party manufacturers out there, you couldn't be more
There's
wrong.
so
They
many.
were everywhere. There were hundreds of them.
Maybe thousands, honestly. What's the newspaper say?
In the news today.
I found this giant box of them on eBay, and there are some right sorry cases, let me tell you. What's this? Wild Things? What do you think I am?
Weird place
A
for a logo to
grizzly
be.
bear? What's this? EB? Yeah, you know what I thought was missing from the PS1 controller? The L2 and R2 buttons being on the top, the L1 and R1 buttons being on the front, and every single other button being in completely the wrong place. What realm of chaotic evil did this thing come from? Electronics Boutique? What are you? A hairdresser's? What's this?
Maybe.
Oh, okay, another
Never played a video
GameStop,
game
that's
before.
good. Sensitivity, low, medium, or high? What? Do you
Okay.
not like being bullied? And why are the grips on a right angle? Is this a video game controller or a shelf? What's this? 4 gamers? This isn't 4 gamers, it's 4 fruitcakes. Who in the shit out there wanted their controller
has
to look
turbo
like the
button.
letter H? Oh,
It does look like the letter H.
atomic. Thank
Dude,
you for
yeah, I
putting
know
an
that
udder
feels
on my
awful.
controller. Oh, what's this? The AirPad. Why is it called that?
Dude, that's a
Is
Frisbee.
Is it? Oh god, it's another motion controller.
Please no. It has tilt.
Heads up, dude!
What'd I say about being a Frisbee?
On this godforsaken
I'm never
sack.
being the pre-watch
What do I even
allegations,
say
never.
about it? It's like I'm playing a game with a dinner plate but without a tasty pickle on it. Basically how it works is that you turn the tilt mode on and through the power of air it acts
just-
as a D-pad. Except it doesn't. It
Yeah.
says right here that it's
Is it
registering
calibrated?
movement, but it won't actually move anything until you've poured your gravy and potatoes all over the floor. And that makes racing games an absolute
Oh, so it's not
joy.
sensitive
You need
enough.
to practically turn it
that
upside
a
down to
S2K?
get it to register anything. And no, you don't hold it like a steering wheel and turn it for racing games. You hold it flat out in front of you like a begging Victorian orphan. And it's even better when you play a driving game with slippery steering and car crash physics like Destruction Derby 2.
Dude, that banking's
there goes my
crazy.
hood. Oh, and don't even bother trying to type your name with it unless you're called Poor Snop. Hang on a second.
I mean, it worked.
If you turn it upside down, it becomes an alien spacecraft.
But does it work with
Independence
anything
Day?
else? Like Cash Banuka 2?
Hey, the game I'm playing
does.
right
It's
now.
surprisingly
Streaming on
well, in
Saturdays.
But it's terrible. It is so
I hate when Crash does a front
unbelievably
flip
delayed,
for no
but
reason.
every single other button is fine, including the D-pad. You've got all the buttons you need right here.
So you don't need to use
why
the
would
tilt?
You need to turn the tilt
Maybe
on?
for
I mean,
games
sure,
that
it does
would
emulate
use it, I don't
analog
know.
stick sensitivity. So if you ever wanted to make
Or
Crash
maybe it
look
was a
like
selling
dying
feature.
Elvis while you give your controller a long sniff, then this is the thing for you.
Maybe it was supposed to be like a cheap
Well, while we're on a
tilt
two-bit,
controller.
let's check out Medieval 2.
Like it had the
You
ability
can't have
to
enough
use tilt.
twos unless you have a
Because that was supposed to be
Doria.
a gimmick.
Luckily, it works, but man, is it awkward. If you want Dan to run anywhere, you need to beg until your arms fall off. And the gangly, spastic movement he has makes something as simple as walking into a sword to pick it up practically impossible.
Overall, if you want to play any PS1 game at all but make everything about it worse, pick up the AirPad.
Okay.
Somebody should do 100% challenge runs with this thing.
They probably do. Who does?
Don't look at me.
Oh.
I choose life.
And speaking of life, here's a thing that looks like it could resuscitate it back to you. The PS1 programmable joystick from the
What a
Game
name.
Machine Input Device series. And I picked
favorite
this up
series.
with my arms from the Body Skeleton Limb series. In all fairness though, this is a really neat piece of tech that works like any other third-party joystick.
box is
except that you're able
interesting.
to assign any action to any button. And it even comes with a sticker sheet for your ultimate pro gammon setup. And some of these
Wow.
stickers do make perfect sense, while others make me question what kind of games people are picking up. There's a button to make your car go and another to make your car crash. There's
Okay.
a button to release a nuclear bomb.
That's
There's a
normal.
button to make you fart. There's a button to make you fart on a ball. There's a button
I
to make
don't-
your friends never talk to you again. And when you're finally sick of all the ways you can give off eggy gases, there's even a button to make you give up and cry. Moving
Oh,
on, here's a
I
special
wish.
little gadget I got from Germany this time. Which is pretty
Oh,
cool
from
because the
Germany.
package it arrived in came with a free page of German newspaper for all
Oh,
the
what
latest
year?
special offers. Just in case you were
2022.
looking for a Westschirm Linomatic Automatic or a Globus Wiener Würsten. The accessory itself is actually a one-handed controller for the PS1.
Why does the logo look
That's
like the
honestly
Chick-fil-A
great
logo a little
idea.
bit?
I've always wanted to play Lego Island 2 while eating my Doritos and leaving my fingers crumbly and greasy. After all, you can't just assume that everyone that likes games can use both their arms or even has both of their arms. And after using this controller,
maybe that's for the best.
take a peek at this thing.
Oh, dude, why is it so
video
thick?
games with it, not eat cereal. I get it. Accessibility is very important, but you know what else is? Using action buttons at the same time as moving, which you can't do here.
Wait, so you have to use two hands?
One hand. You bloody try. Strafing and weapon
See,
switching
this is when you should have a
shooting
trigger.
Is over here, while moving is over here, sprinting is over here. It's a total mess. But screw Doom. How about we play something manly
I don't think
like Klonoa,
they got play
which is a little
tested by
better
people.
Because whichever direction you move,
They were like
same
designed
action
and they're like,
buttons
yep,
are right by
that
your
sells.
thumb. But the trade-off for that is the skin on the end of your thumb. Honestly, the games that this works the most reliably with are the simplest ones, like Tweeny's Game Time or Teletubbies. You know, something not taxing whatsoever so that you can play it while looking at the newspaper and ordering some chili Heidelbeeren. Well, maybe you could play
100
Karushi
grams
with
of
it
it?
as well. And you could even look up the solutions to the puzzle while you play. And I suppose you could always use it with a mouse for Quake 2 or Final Doom, but now we're getting way too specific. Basically, if you can play the game with your eyes shut, you can play it with the one-handed controller. Anything else is not worth it, which is a huge shame because it would be great to have a controller that you can use while itching your leg.
Jeez, it's getting cold in here. Just gonna zip this up quickly.
Hello.
Oh my
Who's that?
god, it's world famous singer-songwriter Nicole Shirt Zipper.
I'm managing a hot new rap band
Wait,
and they want me
wasn't
to
she
give
in
them
the yoga
merchandise.
video?
Oh,
Is that Mel B?
cool. What is it, Nicole?
Dude, oh, it's Wu-Tang. I don't think I know a single song by Wu-Tang.
You guys remember Thrill Kill? Ultra violent, ultra naughty, boring and badly controlling PS1 cage fighter that was banned for being too full of fish.
A couple weeks ago.
Well, the game may have been scrapped, but the code itself never was. Long story short, it was repurposed into another PS1
Wu-Tang
game starring
Taste the
rap
Pain.
group Wu-Tang Clan, and some copies came with this controller. This is
Some. What do you mean
exactly
some? Like
what
there
you
was an
think
option
it
or was
is.
it random?
It's a PS1 controller shaped like the logo of the Wu-Tang
Pretty cool idea. I
Clan,
like the
meaning
colors.
You can finally play Parappa the Rapper the way it was meant to be played.
With a
It
Wu-Tang
is,
Clan
without a
controller.
doubt, the single most uncomfortable thing I've ever held. And I've held my own children. Every single button does not line up. There's absolutely no grip for your
Ooh.
palms here, but a giant claw for your knuckles there. The triggers
Why?
jut out and are also not aligned. And the worst
Then
thing
again,
about it
no
is that this was
playtesting.
easily the most expensive controller I got for this video, including
How
import
much?
fees. This moronic object set me back $400. This is a
God,
collector's
I mean,
item.
72, that was just
And by
import
that,
charges.
I mean, I now use it to collect nuts. Anyway, what the hell is the game itself like? Not sure when I'll ever talk about it again, so let's take a quick look. Why
Yep.
not?
Well, what's his name gonna be?
Are you for real? A parental lock? I had to be
Huh?
18 to buy the game to begin with, and now you think I'm 6? What, you don't think kids can look in the
Wait,
manual
so you
and read
actually-
shapes?
I want to see dismemberment.
Oh, I'd like to see that as well.
Nope, not allowed. He actually has a baseball
And
bat.
hey, the parental lock maybe was a good idea after all, because I am inconceivably offended by all of this. Which is more offensive to you, the quality of the FMV, or that everybody in the intro looks like a balloon? I'm gonna pick,
Wow, what a
old
name.
dirty
Dirt
bastard, also
McGirt.
known as Dirt McGirt. he is my kind of guy. Somewhere in
That
China,
kinda name?
present day, a load of
I don't think
monks
this is
are preparing
2025.
for a Wu-Tang Clan concert when old man Haggis gets way too close to the camera and says he wants to go to America and force the band to teach him their own martial arts so that they can work together to take over the world. What am I playing and what am I playing
Take
it
over
with?
the world
game
using
is
Wu-Tang Clan
everything I was
martial arts?
expecting. It's thrill kill in every awful way. No control over whereabouts you attack, no focus, no strategy. But now I'm playing it with a worse controller. Dirty has
I mean, it's a
3
cool looking
chambers.
controller.
Oh no. Shall I call the cleaners? Look at this. Why does he run even when not moving anywhere? All of this is
Called moonwalking?
disgusting. I don't even know if I should be playing the game with this thing or holding up a bank. The D-pad is so spongy and stiff, you end up pressing multiple directions.
They had to cut costs
all
somewhere
the time. And it's not
for
just
that,
in Wu-Tang. Playing anything
molding.
on this thing is agonizing. From something as hard as Rayman 1 to as easy as Tigger's Honey Hunt.
I mean, if anything, playing this game with this controller has really connected me with gangster rap culture. In fact, I think I could do a great rap right now.
Hello,
Really?
boys,
Oh, he's
I'm
doing
number
it.
1. playing on my PS1. I like eggs, I eat 'em. Controller shaped like a w. Pull my hair, I don't care. Grab my hair, I'll care a lot. Play the game,
What?
It's so hot. I smoke pot in a pot. In a pot. Stop.
These rhymes.
Don't stop. I like Tupac. He led the way. His name is very nearly Toupee. In conclusion, this controller may be the worst thing that I own, but at least it's not a BP controller.
Like,
in fact, next
like
time you want
British
a band
Petroleum?
logo to be used as a video game controller, make sure it's from my favorite metal band.
I think I need to wash my mouth out after that. So how
Wait,
about
I've seen that
instead
logo
we
before.
take
What
a
band
look
is
at
that?
The coolest box for a thing that I own.
I've seen that logo before. None of us knew
yeah.
what it was. What
This
band
is
is that?
PS1
What group?
Tekken
I need
3
answers.
arcade stick.
Oh no.
Very, very cool looking
It was
thing
literally like a
indeed.
week ago.
If you ever wanted to give Nina Williams 4 jugs, then this box is all you're gonna need.
Once you get the old bad boy out, it quickly becomes nowhere near as cool as what it's kept in.
Well, it's
the
so much
sticker
wasted
here
space.
looks embarrassingly cheap, and it's an extremely basic joystick without any shoulder
They
buttons.
really just took
But
an
still,
arcade
I
cabinet,
can't deny it's cool
like-
as hell as a complete package.
It
Just
literally
remember
just
that
looks
if
like
your
an arcade
child has an
cabinet
upside
control.
down head, they can't play it. And I know you really want to, but you're not allowed to set your child on fire. My favorite thing though was that inside the box were these crappy little trading cards with the most unimpressed and uninterested Lei Wulong I have ever seen in my life. Whoa, don't get too excited, Lei. You'll give yourself piles.
So ultimately, even though I do love the box, the contents inside is a little bit disappointing.
Valid.
But at least it isn't a giant grey dump like this.
Hey kids, that's a neat console you've got there.
How about the
You wanna
controller
play
be
it with
bigger?
Another console? This
Is
is
the controller
PS1
bigger than the
SD
console?
joystick, and even though it gives you every button that was missing from the Tekken 3 pad, they're all bundled together in
Why are they
illogical
so
places.
far?
And by the way, it's bigger than the damn console
Yep,
you're plugging
it is.
into. At least it has a turbo function and even an auto turbo function.
What
so
are
you
these
don't even need
features?
to hold down the button you want to rapid fire, making backwards dash running in Castlevania absolutely no issue at all, making you an indestructible god in Street Fighter, or making Tetris
just a macro
absolutely
key.
goddamn impossible. 36 punches a second. Blimey, that's a lot, isn't it?
What? That's a massage gun. Mine is right there.
Ow, my face.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on it. I mean, after all, it is called Slech.
What's that? What's that on the horizon? Oh my god, it's so beautiful.
Horizon
It's
Zero
on
Dawn.
the horizon.
You mean the
like-
best character in
like
Genshin
the-
Impact?
Like the sea.
Well, my son, it's one of the rarest PS1 accessories out there.
There's a bow.
The Boil controller.
What? I see where the name came from, but what?
Seriously though, the ASCII sphere means business. Look at
Oh,
this.
so this
box.
isn't a modern
The
thing.
Fake steel crate holes, the mention of 6-axis, even though I thought that was a PS3 thing, but no, here it is. It even has a training disc. It's a controller so advanced it requires a degree to use it. I have
spherical.
never heard of a situation where if you're playing a difficult game,
You get that reference, I
start
like
looking
you.
up how to beat it, and then look up how to beat the controller. So you admire the box for a second and then open it up. Or you could enter your hand through the perfectly cut Stanley knife slot from when you accidentally slice into it from taking it out of the box it's shipped in. And here it is. The lovely little cancerous lump. It looks like if you left it on the floor,
So
it would
what does
leave
the ball
a
do?
sticky trail behind it. But before I write it off entirely, let's check out this training disc.
You are now in sector 375-95.
You want me to learn how to use this thing,
And it's
right?
flying
So the
through.
basic training is pretty straightforward. The magical testy up here is designed to be physically pushed in all sorts of directions.
It's
And the game
literally
tells you
a
to be
bobbit.
gentle with your pushes and pulls because every subtle movement you make against the ball here does something different. Pushing it away from you, pulling it up, pushing it down, twisting it, all so that you can steer this little spaceship around the map. It's ambitious,
Okay.
I'll give it that. But you know who else was ambitious? Stalin? Once you're left alone in the void of space, freely controlling yourself, it falls apart. The game wants you to do things like push forward gently to move forward, but then push hard forward to dip downwards, or push left gently to strafe left, but push hard left to bank left. It's so damn unnatural. When you're doing it one move at a time, it's absolutely fine, but strangely, flying through space at 500
Stan has
miles
seen
a
some
second doesn't mix
gameplay.
well with you remembering every single angle this sack wants to be tickled on, and you end up not being able to control anything. So why don't we try out the obvious test choice, Cooler World? I mean,
Is it gonna be one of those like balance a ball on a obstacle course?
As I suspected, the second we take the ulcer out of the mouth, it doesn't work. The controller worked fine with the spaceship test disc, but look at this. The ball doesn't know if it's rolling or turning or looking or boinging or splatting or blinking or blonking. Thanks for responding perfectly to all my pushes and pulls and squeezes and twists. It's like if Jigsaw created Bop It. How about we try out Shrek Treasure Hunt? Well,
apparently there's a new Shrek movie coming out,
fine.
which is crazy.
Okay. But the game itself, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself, right? The controller is all about finesse. I mean, fair enough, I know Shrek isn't exactly a swan-leg ballerina, but however gently I touch the ball, he absolutely freaks out. Why does this thing exist? Who asked for it? Who was sitting at home playing Metal Gear Solid and said to themselves, oh boy, I really wish this was Rubber Gear Squishy. This thing is an abomination, and I'm putting it down because I'm absolutely certain this is malignant.
Oh no. You know what else nobody likes and wishes they could put down? Toddlers, but that's not legal. So instead what we do is push them aside and leave them entertained with baby controllers for the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, these are also real. It's a controller,
but it actually works? Does it do control anything though? It's like when your kid wants to play along or whatever, or
and beat Croc at the same time without the ability
like,
to
I want to play.
No less. This is a very clever baby. This controller in particular was Japanese only and came bundled with a game called Guru Torn Orangutan. This is perhaps the most unassuming box for a game I've ever seen. There is absolutely zero information on it. Not even the back of it can help you out. If you play around, please clean up. Sound advice. The game starts up and... Please get out of my personal space. Okay, so I'm on this screen and nothing is working. I'm not sure.
I like how there's a mailbox, but there's no street.
Hang on. This is a microphone? Sweet. I wasn't expecting that. Just gotta say hello to the cute little dog and away we go.
Did you know they eat you in Korea?
Okay, cool. Now I've got to put my name in and...
What is this?
Is that a naked toad?
I think.
Well, at least they can't reproduce.
Okay, cool. I guess I've got to pick where I want to go now. So I'm feeling a little bit drawn to the top one. And
and now we're just guessing. We're just guessing.
Yep, feeling drawn to the top one again.
Yep. I think what we've got to do here is shout into the microphone when it's safe to cross the road. But maybe I need to know the Japanese word for go because I can't get them to move.
Is this supposed to be like how to teach them how to like talk, like make decisions for their kids?
I wish I didn't do it right. Let's try another game then. How about this one by
the same thing? I swear it's the same thing.
House. Here we have to pick the oven that we want to jump inside, and then we... I honestly have no idea, but I'm going to go and eat this cookie here, and... yeah, I'm getting way too ahead of myself. I'm going to quit before I mess it up.
Like...
Oh no, I won.
Okay, well, what do I do now? I don't know, but anywhere is better than here, and good timing too, because the poor dog clearly wet itself. Okay, we've got some hide and seek now.
I wonder where they went.
Away that easy. I see where you went.
Just vanished.
Oh, my mistake. I thought I saw you go in there, but you clearly didn't, because instead I found a little old man. Then this duck arrives for the fun, and...
I'm the duck.
Why does everyone in this game sound like they're being sick? The controller itself is kind of neat, though. It's cute, it has all the buttons it needs, it stands up on its own so it can be doubled as a toy, but using it for anything else other than the game it was made for is a death sentence. There's only 2 buttons and a D-pad in between them, for Christ's sake.
Uh-oh. I'm... Dad?
Look at the way this smug asshole winks at you. He knows you can't do anything with him, and he thinks it's hilarious.
I mean, that's a pretty cool
thing. Or he wants you to press that button down there.
No.
If I can give it any credit whatsoever. The D-pad, X, circle.
I'm still most impressed by the train thing.
It's the perfect controller for Pepsi, man.
No.
This wasn't the only time Japan did this. They had exactly the same design used for Michael Rat. And even more confusingly, Winnie the Pooh in a combo pack. You get a controller and a game. 2 Poohs for the price of 1. And I'm personally very excited because according to Google Translate, when you talk, Mr. Wow will answer. Check this out. You can even wipe the trumpet.
This is actually kind of cool.
You
just
also
translate stuff.
Gambling and kids go hand in hand. Well, this kid likes gambling anyway.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier.
Plus,
oh my god,
if you
it
really
actually
want
does
to,
kind
you
of
can
like
always
Mark.
use the Wu-Tang Clan controller with the game, so Winnie ends up in the Pooh-Tang Clan. Please forget I ever said that. Don't hurt me, Pooh. Okay, good. Pooh is dead. Right, so here's the main menu. And
I don't know if there's fall damage.
Waddle Pooh around like he's in a game of Monopoly. This animation kills me. The first thing I ran into was a dandelion blowing minigame where you need to blow into the microphone to get it working.
So
and that's kind of cool.
You could literally do anything into the microphone.
Responds to any noises, not just blowing, so you don't need to blow at all, and you can just go...
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can blow over and over again into the mic to make Pooh sound like he's sucking a golf ball through a hose. Oh, check it out. I found Eeyore's Casino. No, I'm not joking.
Wait,
Take
Eeyore
your
has a
lottery
casino?
tickets, put them
Wait.
in a hole in a tree, shove poo
Isn't
in
he the really
hole,
depressed
watch him
one?
inflate, wait for him to... and then win a spider, which makes poo go...
Quicksand.
You want to know the best thing, though? The microphone itself is actually mapped to the PS1 controller's shoulder buttons, meaning that you can shout at Croc to make him shimmy left and right. And you can play Tenchu, hiding in the dark and stealthily slicing up your enemies with...
By yelling.
Surprise! And you can make Crash Bandicoot slide with...
Whoa. That's actually
Works with
awesome.
basically any game you can think of, but don't try out Tomb Raider 2 unless you really
Tomb
love
Raider 2.
rolling
I only
around
played
on
like
floor.
the
Now I wonder
the
what happens when
remasters.
you press Mickey's button down here.
Don't
even think about it.
Well, you know what, Mickey? That's too small for me anyway. I prefer my buttons nice and big.
This is the once again Japanese-only Kid Station controller. Warning, if your kid is crying,
It's all
this
PlayStation.
controller will kill them. Look at the size of this beast.
If this controller had an exercise bike, it'd be dusty.
It was made for a series of games
Also,
in Japan
that
branded
PCB
the
is
Kid Station
massive.
logo on the cover. If the game had that logo,
Oh,
you could use
Digimon.
this controller. And yes, this finally means I can play my copy of Thomas the Tank Danking the way it was meant to be played. Hey there, fat
giant
controller.
controller.
Do you want to see my fat controller? Logically, tiny buttons should be great for tiny fingers. But if you're 3 years old, those fingers spend more time in your mouth or going... And that's why this controller exists.
I mean,
no
it's
mistakes
easy to
will be made
read.
with this. No, sir. Just make sure that the
It goes
game
in
you
the
play
square
doesn't
hole.
involve moving anywhere, because... Yeah. What you can do, though, is use it with the mouse, which is
Okay.
great, because I've always wanted to play Terry Pratchett's Discworld with a bongo. I like this controller.
Do you?
Dad, what the hell is this thing? And if this is what your kids look like when they see the controller, just wait until you see what happens when they play with it. Ha ha ha, this pleases me. You know what
I mean,
I've always wanted to know?
yeah,
What English
why are they
words
so
are young
excited?
Japanese boys wearing on their pajamas? Let's have a quick look. High, super, point,
Okay.
mile,
Why is
jam,
it English?
picnic, field, the meat. Actually, scratch that. Pick yourself up the PS1
meat.
fishing rod. The only controller that allows you to get a rod and go fishing.
Oh, okay. How's the fishing? How many did we get?
The fish ain't biting today.
I only have one game that this thing is 100%
Real Fishing
compatible
2,
with. Real
Electric
Fishing
Boogaloo.
2, because Real Fishing 1 didn't have enough real fishing in it, and the game is... Yep,
Okay.
this is real fishing, alright. It's real fishing because nothing happens. Look, it's
Wow.
really cute that you can throw the rod to cast the line with motion controls, and the reel itself works well too. But whatever bait I use, wherever
That-
I
you
cast,
can't catch
how
anything?
fast I reel, it doesn't make a single
Are you just not good at
difference. I'm
fishing?
glad the controller works, but the game just doesn't care. Oh my god, I got a fish! Reel it in! Reel it
Well,
in, boy!
you're
reel
supposed to pull. Yeah. I don't think he did that right.
Oh. By
Does he
then.
know how to fish?
Why do people like fishing? Oh my god, I got another fish! Reel it in slower, reel it in slower, reel it in
Well,
slower.
when you
Slowly
feel the
does
fish
it.
tug, you're supposed to pull to hook it, and then you start reeling it in. You give it a little
Oh.
bit.
By then. Balls to this. Let's try
No,
playing the game
fishing's
that
fun.
the fishing rod was
Well,
really made for.
when you're actually catching stuff.
Nightmare creatures. Oh my god, it's working. It works. I can't believe it. And the casting motion control, for some alien reason, is mapped to the staff attacks. Yes, I'm slicing zombies in half with a fishing pole. This makes me feel so
I'm surprised there's no
powerful,
golf
but the jump scares
accessories.
are still very, you know.
Jesus. And he's dead.
At this point, I started to think a little out of the box. Maybe this real thing here works as a paddle
Like a wheel?
of some sort. So I tried
Also,
out
why does it
Buster
only
Move
go one
2 to see
way?
if I could move the
Wait,
cannon
can-
with
is it
and
not just,
nope,
like, fully
it didn't
spin
work.
forever?
I could not. Then I thought, hey, wait a second. This here is a left analog stick.
Oh,
So
no, you
maybe
can,
This
okay.
acts as a right one, meaning that I tried out Ape Escape.
Again.
And sadly, it didn't even pass the menu screen. Then I tried RC Stunt Copter, and the exact same thing happened.
So what about racing games then?
Oh
Like
no, more wheels.
Colin McRae Rally? No.
Also, another
Gran
Impreza.
Turismo? No. So then I tried a load of other random games like Spider-Man 2? No. Mortal Kombat? No. SpongeBob? No.
Oh.
Wipeout? No. And none of these did anything.
So why does nothing work?
And then I tried Gex 3.
Yay, Gex!
For some completely
Yo, we're playing Gex?
unfathomable reason against all human decency, when I played the game with a normal controller, everything
That's what I'm
works
talking about.
absolutely fine.
Look at Gex.
But the second I put the fishing rod in, the noises began.
My dad
What
is
in
texting me,
God's
asking if
right
everything's all
greeny
good because
pastures is going
I
on
haven't
here?
called him
What's
back
happened
yet
to the
because this
music,
video is so
the sound
long.
effects, and why does the fishing rod of all things cause it to happen? Oh my God, what's that, boy? You have a bite? Oh, well,
What?
Jiminy, let's crank it up then.
What is that? It's like a bike bell?
I wound in the lead winder.
I know what you're thinking. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
What?
What is it? Well, ladies and gents,
Does it wind
this
your...
thing, this inside-out rubber Johnny is apparently a controller lead winder, and it's as useful as a carpet shot
And
in a
it
hospital. It
cleans
calls
up
itself
the-
a lead winder, but in reality, it
Oh, it doesn't
absolutely
automatically do- you have to
nothing.
just
It's
wind
just
up
a
yourself.
loose and floppy pair of old lips that gets in the way of your cables and adds a million
I thought
steps
it
to
just
something that's
automatically
supposed to be
retracted it.
one. You fold the end of the controller extension lead through here, unravel it slowly as it chews on its own cable, fold it back through the same hole to keep it in place, and when you leave it on the floor, it looks like a chewed up foreskin. In fact, the more I look at it, it's not even
It
a
looks
lead
like a
winder
dog
for your
toy.
own controller. It's a lead winder for the extension lead that's compatible with the winder. So all you're doing here is winding up the extra controller length on top of the standard length. Who designed this? Oh, of
Mad
course,
Cats. Yep,
it's
I
Mad
knew they were
Cats.
gonna
Who else
come
would
back.
it be? You know what?
I
I'm
knew they were
make
gonna
this
come back.
process 10 times easier and fold you inside out to be used as an ornamental vase. Look at my poor little controller. It looks like it needs circumcising.
And while we're talking about cutting off the end of your gentleman's whistle, here's the PS1 cockpit.
Released by Optech, an anagram
Nice.
for PC toe, this is the PS1 cockpit.
Yo,
and holy
what?
shit is it ugly. It feels like you're holding a knife and fork that you can't separate. The best thing about flying
It
a
looks
plane with a cockpit
straight out of
controller
a
in a video game
arcade.
is flying a plane with a cockpit controller in a video game. And this thing does not let you fly a plane with a cockpit controller in a video game.
Wait,
At least
wait,
not
it doesn't
on
do
Ace
the one
Combat
thing?
3. No matter what
Oh.
settings I use, the steering outright doesn't work, but everything else seems to work fine, including pushing and pulling back on the deck to change my height,
Okay.
which is completely awful because this is what happens every time you do that.
Oh, yeah, it's
Does
not
it work
mounted
on
to anything.
Independence Day? No. Duke Nukem? No. Driver? No. Point Blank? No. Simpsons Wrestling? No. Stuart Little 2? Yes. The PS1
Yes.
cockpit controller
Works in Stuart
with
Little 2.
Stuart Little 2 and nothing else that I tried. Out of all of the flight games I own, I honestly couldn't believe it. Why does this work? You can even turn
It must
left
just
and
be
right
something that has to do
move
with how
the
the controller
sewage
is
hamster,
designed,
and the
with
accelerator pedal is your jump.
wires,
So instead of
wiring.
stepping on a mouse, we're shooting it off to space.
Oh. And there's another
It's
one.
the PS1 Flight Deck Simulator controller.
Okay.
For use specifically with this game here, Jet de Go.
In fact, this is from the same exact company
Okay.
behind the train simulator from earlier. These guys
My
love
favorite
themselves
company.
some public transport. Where's their bus controller featuring old solid chewing gum? My favorite thing about the controller, I have to say, is the back of it. Why is
Why?
it shaped like this? If it were any bigger, you could go and
smaller?
watch an opera in it.
I have two.
I mean, why do you have two of them, Caddy?
Oh, Jesus. Here we go again with
747,
the overstimulating
400?
intro cutscene. These people really like their public transport. This time it even has a love letter at the start.
Airliner
Do I have
lovers
to sit you on
and
my
the
knee and
others.
explain how a relationship with a plane isn't gonna work? Lesson? I don't need to learn.
No, you
Let's
probably
go right
do.
into flight mode. Gonna give
Oh,
myself
no.
some power for the takeoff. Whoa,
Yep.
it vibrates. Oh my god, it actually makes you feel like the wheels are running along the grooves of the track. This feels pretty realistic. And then when you eventually take off, the vibration stops gradually as more weight is taken off of the wheels. This feels weirdly authentic.
Yeah,
I way
wait.
prefer this over the train game.
Is
I'm
it
sure
stalling?
that's fine. See?
Oh, wait,
Look
no.
at that.
I don't know.
I was a success. I even learned to land the plane too. There's a button for wheel deploying and another button for braking while the steering wheel shakes around as you slow down. I am unironically
This company's the
loving
best.
this. Say hello to Captain Bermuda Triangle.
Why?
I mean, I can't tell you what is going on or what anybody is saying, but I must be doing good because I got awarded some more X-rated
J-era?
plane footage with a guitar solo.
Okay.
I think the FBI will be after me soon, so does it work with Wipeout 3?
Short answer, yes it does. But to accelerate, you have to put your thumb over here like some sort of angry lobster, because this here doesn't do anything.
Oh, if only it did. That'd make it so much better.
Sadly, I couldn't even get past the menus. But then
it was only made for one game. It works in
Spyro
Spyro.
2, and where the menus were a little bit
a game
glitchy,
I've never played, a franchise
I
I've never
actually
played.
managed to get the game fully working. You're seeing this right. I am steering Spyro not only on the ground, but in the air as he glides like a plane, just like our Lord Jesus intended. If though, for whatever reason,
last
you
week's
decide
video
to
of the
stop
Jesus
steering
games,
Spyro, he won't stop. So just get ready to play a version of Spyro 2 where he's trying to hold it in, and you'll be right as rain.
What if there was another?
Yep,
the voice crack.
There is indeed another PS1 flight
okay.
stick. Apparently,
why
this one
is there
claims to be able
two
to
of
work
them
with
though?
any flight games.
It almost
And
looks like
as far as I
a
even mentioned that
excavator
each of the sticks
kind of
here
deal.
acted as analog sticks on a DualShock controller. So you bet your juicy ass I went straight into RC Stunt Copter to try it out. My name is Enne. Well, blow me down and call me Blow. This is actually
the purpose
amazing.
of this game?
It works really well. With each analog stick getting its own dedicated joystick, I breezed through the Stunt Copter training within a few minutes. And yes, it still sounds like you're trying to get the instructor off.
Hold it. Good. Easy. Hold that position. Good. Now hold it. Okay, almost done. Oh my god! Oh, I can't believe
did it.
You've done this before, haven't you?
And
Clearly.
Unfortunately, it also looks like it. But he has two.
That's literally like
and don't
an
use it to
excavator, maybe a
write with or
skid
open
steer,
doors.
or bobcat. I don't know.
I'm Adolf. G-Police. You know who works there?
Who?
The G-Policeman. Holy mother, this font! What does any of this even say? New mittens?
Yep.
Onions?
It's literally like Wu-Tang logo, and that's the font.
I mean, the controller works with the game, no doubt about that. Game's shit though, innit? And by the way,
It's so
your
dark.
hardcore scary police squad is an acronym for guinea pig. Next, I thought I'd give Forsaken a shot. It's an underrated PS1 first-person shooter in a little flying craft.
Never heard of
it. It works wonderfully with this controller as well.
But the one I was really hoping to get working was Ape Escape. I mean, think about it.
Him
Dual
is
analog
Ape
sticks,
Escape.
dual grabby sticks. It's perfect, right? Well, no. I tried it. It didn't work.
Why?
And that makes me a saddy caddy.
Oh.
And you know the best thing to do when you're sad? You dance for me. Dance.
Nope.
Dance, my little puppet. Dance for me. Oh yeah, how many of you had one of these bastards in the PS1 days?
Not in the PS1
dance
days.
mat.
My family
Just
had
about
one
as
that
nostalgic
never
as
got
you can
used,
get.
just because that was
If you
a
own the
gimmick.
dance mat. This one
It
in
was
particular
cheap.
is a special one-off mat that came
Those
as
little,
part
like,
of a bundle
plastic
pack with
mats,
the PS1
yeah, just-
version of Jungle
ugh.
Book Groove Party. And this box...
I think it was like a gift
This
from my
box should
grandmother
be
for like
studied
Christmas
in
because she was
box
like,
class for how
"You like
not
games?"
to make a box. Just look at this dreadful heap. The 2D car, the snake right above the ugly 3D PS1 renders, the vultures that are the size of peas, the game box window that doesn't keep the game it's displaying inside the window, Mowgli's teeth.
They tried.
How could you not grab this off the shelves and buy it immediately? One of the biggest selling points on the box is that Lou Bega has a music video in it.
Who?
No? Well, how about the fact that the dance mat is called the Thrustmaster?
Hey kids. Oh my god, he's wearing like a cape.
And the best thing about dance mats is that you don't only have to use them with dancing games like Jungle Book
You
or
can use it for
DDR.
anything.
All the controller buttons you need are on the mat. So
He's
you
playing
can play
Spyro with a
anything
dance
from
mat.
Spyro 3 to Tony Hawk. Hey, look, it's like I'm actually using a real skateboard. I hope they make that a reality in the future.
That
Oh,
works.
wait a
I remember
minute.
that map actually. Wait, I played that
seriously
Tony Hawk
don't
game.
recommend that you play Overboard with it, though.
What is Overboard? Why is that ship turn that fast while standing still?
I feel like I'm playing Twister while being shot at.
But I seriously do recommend taping the dance mat onto a wall and playing the first stage in Parappa the Rapper for the next best thing to Parappa the Rapper VR as you can get.
And then that crazy country over there.
Which one?
You know, Japan. They saw
Oh.
that dance mats were selling like hotcakes on the
So
PS1.
they made a
you know what
ton
they
of
decided
them.
to make? They decided to make a dance mat for people with hand fits.
This is the PS1
Wait.
Poppin' controller for a series
Are
of
you-
games labeled Poppin' Music from
Like,
Konami. Again,
and you
the
use your
sad thing, though,
hands?
is that it's only for Japan, so please don't tell anyone.
Made in Japan for
Or
Japan.
else- The policeman. This was made by B Manny because we don't want you to be womany, and it was
Doesn't
ported
sound
to the home
very
console
Japanese.
market after a very successful Japanese arcade cabinet of the same name. Personally, I have 6 games in the Pop and Music collection as you follow the adventures of Grandma's Kitchen Tile Hair Girl. Let's party Pop and Music! Yeah! That's push! Pop and Music is kind of like DDR mixed with rock band drums. It's pretty straightforward. You see a bop, you bop it. You see a fly, you swat it.
But
You
why
see
are
a
there 2
spot,
blue
you
ones?
pop it. But surely there's got to be more to it than that. How to play.
Why are there 2 blue ones? Okay.
Glad we got that cleared up. Honestly,
Why
there's
is
not
just
much
say good?
to say, but what you hear is
And
this.
there's also 2. Yeah, there's like 2 of everyone except for red. Why is red the only one that's by itself?
My favorite disco hits while smashing a jackhammer on the table.
Won't you take me to Funky Town?
And the most adorable feature, it even has pocket station.
No, is he
I like this thing a lot. I'm gonna ring them up and tell them how much I like it.
Oh, they have a number. Does number work? I don't think so. It sounds like an alarm.
I think I called the Yakuza.
But I know what you're thinking. Does it work with other rhythm games like Vib Ribbon? Well, you'll be pleased
What
to know
game?
it sure does. And half of the fun is trying to figure out which button does what.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jump is.
No.
Alright, then how about if we try the best rhythm game of all time? Tarzan.
What?
Has anybody got a wipe? Amazingly, everything works, except for the fact that I can't run backwards. So if you're a Tarzan PS1 speedrunner that doesn't ever need to run backwards, this is
Then
the
you're
controller
good, yeah,
for you.
it's fine.
Personally, I always wanted to smack a bit of plastic.
Don't you have to use the original controller
The buttons themselves are
for
really
some
sensitive,
speedruns?
though. So if you do so much as breathe
Like
too
part
heavily
of a
on it,
rule?
you might. No, go away! Leave me alone, Turkish delight, stupid traffic light. Pop-off controller? I'm gonna run away to Crash Team
no.
Racing now. Everything here in the
I mean, it's
menu
a good
works
game.
wonderfully, and I was
Let's
getting
see.
really excited to play the game. But then the character select screen happens, and I officially turned the game into a roundabout. I have absolutely
Good
no
luck
idea
picking
why
one.
it's doing this. I'm not
Random.
touching anything.
It's a random.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a cash panuka, right. Crash Team Racing, more like Crash Team Retching. Then I tried out Bugs Bunny and Taz Time Busters, and I have the
What?
same issue. I can only move in one direction forever, but at least
So
now
it's
I'm
something
in a 3D
with
space,
the
which means I can also
registering.
jump, kick, change
It's
characters,
wired some
and
way.
move a total of 15 degrees to the right. I'm pretty sure that's a feature on the back of the box. Then I got a hold of Taz, threw him into the lake, and watched him struggle as he slowly drowned because I couldn't get him back up. What is it that
Oh,
the kids
no.
say in Twitch chat nowadays? Poppers?
So
Pop-
yeah,
it's a
Konami were
poggers.
the kings of PS1 musical instruments, weren't they?
Oh, so I'll
They
be
basically
streaming
did
today,
Guitar
Wednesday.
Hero,
7 Days to
DDR,
Die.
And Rock Band
Oh, God,
drums
we have another
before
Horde Night.
anyone else
Oh, God.
on the PS1. And they also did this.
Is that a piano turntable?
What in the fuck? Oh, bonjour everyone! It's the hardest working chef who keeps cooking for his
What?
customers even though he has COVID, sandwich!
In the bread.
Cover your mouth when you cough. And today we're going to be frying sausages with my new gadget, a hob
Oh, okay.
with an organ.
Oh, it's
Right,
an
I feel
organ,
like
not
I'm
a
going
piano.
Insane. Okay, so along with everything else Konami did for musical instrument rhythm games on the
They
PlayStation,
did this.
they also did this. Beat Mania. And where I was initially expecting it to make me feel like
Bass guitar.
I later discovered it's basically a primitive
There's two
version of
guitars
DJ
broken in this
Hero
video.
with a keyboard. So instead I felt like it works.
And a keyboard.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. There's not much to say about it. It's just your typical rhythm game, but with a wiki woo and a DJ. But what I really want to know is, can you play Lego Racers on it? Well, you tell me. Even though
I mean,
a
you can
few
play
buttons
it.
on the controller are mapped
Well,
to the keyboard
no.
end of the deck, the disc scratching bit is only mapped to up and down, so you can't turn. And the same rules apply to Alien Trilogy, which even though is very depressing that I can only move forward and back and strafe, makes it all worth it when I can say out loud,
Look, Bob, I shot an alien with
It has
piano.
a speaker in
well,
it.
I guess it works perfectly
So American.
with Pong.
Okay.
Playing Pong with a gas hob. Now I've seen everything.
Oh my man, this has been absolutely exhausting. I'm starting to flag a bit now.
What?
But trust me,
What
don't
what
go
does that
away
mean?
yet, because I think I've saved
the best for last.
What could be better?
Do you remember a few years back, I made a video all about retro PlayStation 1 magazines? In some of those issues were picture adverts for upcoming gaming controllers and peripherals, including a PS1 controller cup holder, a G-Con light gun bazooka, a PS1 controller with the England flag on it, and a PS1 controller that is also a shoe. And you are all going to be so sad to hear that no matter how many Google searches I did, and no matter how many eBay searches
except for one of them. One of them exists.
I couldn't find these things anywhere. And even worse, I couldn't find even a mention of them on the internet outside of those magazines.
So they never existed.
So I think they were jokes.
Ha ha ha!
Or the prototypes.
But there was one thing I managed to uncover from
How
those magazines.
expensive
One
was this?
single thing. And I'm so happy I did, because... Hey kids, meet your new stepdad! Hello there, little scamps!
I did it! I found it! The PS1 glove! You thought that the Nintendo Power Glove was the only one? No, siree, no Williams. Here is the officially licensed video game control glove for the PlayStation. The only controller to get you in the game.
Oh, really?
Might want to plug in the console first, though. What are the features of this ungodly instrument? Compatibility with all PlayStation games. Approved
that's a
PlayStation
big claim.
Peripheral. Fits comfortably onto the forearm and hand. And you become part of the game.
I don't want to become part of the game.
What a feature. I have been desperate for years to jump into my PS1 and have an affair with Bob the Builder's wife. You take it out of the box, strap it down to your arm, and there you go. Here it is.
It's like a cast or a brace.
This wretched junk. This parasite feels horrible. It follows every single finger and wrist movement you make like a conjoined twin that never made it. To make things move on screen, you have to bend your arm around like Betty Spaghetti to make this lever system work, and it takes a surprising amount of muscle to do it. Plus, the buttons are all smushed together. It has the worst thumb button placement I've ever seen on anything, and I don't know if I should be playing a video game or studying black holes talking like a robot.
And I know it's predictable, but I've got to try Glover on it, haven't I?
Glover? There's a game called Glover? Does it work? Does it actually work?
Jumping Flash?
Wait, so it does work with every game.
Dave Mirror Freestyle BMX?
No.
Do I even dare?
It works. It works. Everything works.
No.
Oh!
Why does he have golf clubs? Caddy does not seem like the golfing type.
The end. After all of that,
him on a golf course would be
really
hilarious, actually.
Massage. Anybody got anything to help me out?
Special package. Trance vibrator.
Is that a PS2 vibrator?
Wait. No.
Oh, there you are.
Saying phrase of the day. From January to April. Oh wow, that was a long time between videos, I guess. Which, I mean, it's a 95-minute long video, so like, of course it's gonna take a long time. And also, I apologize for last week. Last week was really weird. I hated only uploading 4 videos last week on the main channel. I was testing something with the algorithm, because the algorithm started hiding my videos from my own subscribers. I'm uploading videos that get less than 20,000 impressions when I have over 102,000 subscribers, so like...
My rabbit likes to shit on my sofa.
Aw, well, I wouldn't let the rabbit on the sofa then. But, yeah, this was the useless world of PS1 accessories by Caddicarus, where I was impressed by some and let down by a couple others. But, I mean, the train one, the plane one made by the same company, those were awesome. The one that had the 2 joysticks, that was actually a very useful controller. And, you know, they tried some stuff, and I don't know if any of these actually caught on or did anything. Like, if they led to any developments of, like, you know, stuff that we put in video games or use for controllers now. I don't know if they advanced controller technology or they were really just like a, hey, we tried it before, don't ever try it again, it doesn't work. But also shout out to the patrons, because I could not do this as well as not for them. It's really bad right now, like between the YouTube hiding my videos from my subscribers and everybody apparently, which it's a YouTube-wide thing. I'm seeing dozens of posts every single day from YouTubers and YouTubers I talk to, and everybody's like, what is going on? Why have my impressions dropped like by 90%? Which also means that views drop a lot. So I don't know what's going on there, and then the IRS absolutely hates me as well. So really hope you enjoyed this video. It's a long video. I don't know how long the next one's going to be. When they start getting to 2 hours, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do, you know, 2-hour ones every single week on top of everything else I have to record. But definitely check out some of the videos on the channel. There's like over 4,000 videos on this channel. I have an alternate channel I'm uploading videos on as well as the gaming channel where I'm uploading the Crash Banooka VODs, where I'll be playing Crash Banooka this coming up Saturday, hopefully. But like I said, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. But until next video, take care and keep the music.
We were